Kansas and Colorado, no score, just underway from Folsom Field in Boulder. With Artie Gigantino and Greg Bell, I'm Drew Goodman. Welcome the folks in the Rocky Mountain region. Just saw an overtime game in Conference USA. Colorado, the opening possession of the football game. This is the 10th play of the drive. They have 3rd and 11 at the Kansas 28. We'll keep you updated on that football game that's in overtime. Hessler will be sacked. He lost the ball. And Kansas claims they're on it. Indeed they are. The Jayhawks have been forcing turnovers all year long. Patrick Brown fell on it.
Patrick Brown has been the big play guy for them this year, but it looks like number 63, big old Dion Johnson, gets there first and knocks the ball loose, and Patrick Brown is Johnny on the spot. He's made a lot of huge plays this year, Brown has, for this Kansas defense.
3rd sack of the year for Brown, and that is the young quarterback, Zach Wagner. He's a sophomore from Platte City, Missouri. He's a big guy, 6'2" and 230. He's not going to run away from you. He's a drop-back passer. Eric Van, on the quick snap count, ran into the middle of the defensive line for Colorado. Van should get a lot of carries tonight if Kansas can adhere to their game plan. Wagner majors economics. He's an outstanding student. He's hit on 50% of his passes this year for 433 yards. He's an all-state player in the state of Missouri, and they believe he's the quarterback of the future. Terry Allen thinks he'll be an outstanding player. Van, caught in the backfield. Mike Phillips, the middle linebacker, shot the gap and tackled Van for a loss of a yard. Kansas skill players. We talked about Van. He had the 99-yard run against Oklahoma. The offensive line has been the big problem. Justin Glasgow has been somewhat consistent, but this unit has really troubled the Jayhawks, and that is one of the reasons they have not scored an offensive touchdown on the road this year. There are 2 scores on the road, defensive scores. 3rd and 10. They go on the ground. Van will be very close to a first down. A flag comes in late, thrown by the side judge on the top of your screen.
And part of the plan tonight for Kansas was to come up to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball quickly. They didn't want the University of Colorado's defensive front to be moving around. And so far, they've been efficient in doing that. They feel they had to come up today and beat them to the punch. They didn't want to run a lot of counters. They wanted to run more zone plays right at the Colorado front.
And the penalty will be against Colorado. Let's get the call from Randy Crystal.
Illegal participation on the defense. There's 12 players playing on that down. Be sufficient for a first down.
I like that. It'll be sufficient for a first down. A little different wording. And, you know, if you can sneak 12 guys on, when you were at Southern Cal and you were defensive coordinator, if you get Southern Cal, if you get 12 guys on there, you do it, right?
You ought to be able to stop them. But penalties has been a huge problem this year for the University of Colorado. They've had 41 for 348 yards so far. That's much too many.
Van again didn't like the initial hold, tried to cut it back. Different philosophy for the University of Kansas running the ball this week. They used to counter a lot. As you see, Cincinnati and Houston are still 31-31 in overtime. This week they want to run straight ahead and reach block. Explain that, Artie.
Well, what they want to do is they want to run straight at Colorado because they feel if they run side to side, Colorado is too fast on defense and they're going to be able to chase them down.
2nd and 9, Davis the up back. Wagner put it up for the first time, and he has Davis out of the backfield. And he broke a tackle. He's another one of those Colorado players playing for the Jayhawks. He's from East High School in Denver, 230-pound redshirt freshman.
What this is now, this is a bootleg, and here's Davis lined up as a fullback, and you're going to see him come out into the flat. Zach Wagner now fakes the Van on the other side, comes out on the flat, and throws the ball to Davis. This has been something they have not showed all year, but they felt there was a weakness in the Colorado defense.
First down for Kansas. Van off tackle and a solid gain on first down. Kansas on the move to the 34-yard line of Colorado. So important for Kansas to have early success. Artie, their 2 road games this year, losses at the University of Cincinnati, loss also to Texas Tech. 193 yards in total offense in both games.
I understand, and you know what else is what's a terrible statistic along with that? They've had minus 35 yards rushing so far this year on the road.
Van, another carry, and he falls ahead to the 31-yard line, setting up a very makeable 3rd down. Ryan Olson, Brandon Southward, Ryan Black, Hannibal Navies all around the football.
Van's an interesting guy. So far this year, he's got 4 touchdowns. He's 4.1 per carry. He had a 99-yard touchdown. He's one of 5 people to ever do that in the history of college football against the University of Oklahoma. He's a versatile guy that can do a lot of things.
David Winbush is checked in at a tailback. Number 40, they give him the football. Big opening. 1st down, Kansas to the 25-yard line. Black and Sutter, the 2 Ryans at safety for Colorado, combined to make the tackle.
And Winbush is a freshman. He's 5'7", 165 pounds. And this is a good changeup by the Kansas offense because he's a little jitterbug that gets up in there. In fact, I asked the coaches when they recruited him, how did they evaluate him? And they said he was a 3-clip guy. All he had to do was watch 3 clips on the video, and he decided to give him a scholarship.
And he's playing right away. Lost the football. Still on the ground. Colorado has it. So both Colorado and Kansas drive the football into enemy territory, and then the miscue. Terrell Cade fell on the football. No score in Boulder. 6:43 to go in the opening quarter. We'll be back right after this.
What do you get when you fly Southwest Airlines? Fun fares. Light up the night. Southwest Airlines fun fares are so low. Want to see that again? Now you can fly just for the fun of it.
With us, 'cause we got a lot of things to do now you really should fly. Fun, flying Southwest on a fun fair today. Fun, flying on a fun fair today.
These days, it seems like everything is the official something of somebody. What's next? The official soft drink? The team mascot? Look at this guy right here. And this one here. And his girlfriend and his kid. See, they're drinking Dr. Pepper just because it tastes great. It's kind of the official soft drink of everyone else. Like this guy with the bratwurst. He executes a one-handed switch. You can't coach the stuff. It's a thing of beauty. Hey, who's doing that? I do that. What's going on? Hey.
There are people who think water polo is not a game for a man. They're right. This is no game, and he is not just a man. It is a sport, and he is an athlete, just like a football player, just like a basketball player, just like a baseball player. GTE is proud to be the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big 12 because of him and the pure spirit of college athletics.
Another sellout at Folsom Field in Boulder. More than 51,000 in the house. Drew Goodman, Artie Gigantino, and Greg Bell. An update on that score from Houston. Cincinnati has scored a touchdown in the first overtime. So Houston must score a touchdown or the Bearcats will beat the Cougars. After the Kansas turnover, Colorado has it at their own 25-yard line. 2 receivers to the top. The running back is Herschel Troutman. Inside handoff, and he runs right into Dewey Houston III, a 280-pound senior from Illinois. Now, Colorado turned the football over on their initial possession, pretty deep in Kansas territory. Rick Neuheisel told us yesterday, he said, turnovers have been our Achilles heel all year.
Well, there's one statistic that counts in football besides the final score, and that's turnovers. You win the turnover battle, you usually win the football game. That is, to me, an absolute football.
2nd and 10. Little screen set up, and this goes nowhere. The quick flip to Javon Green. Jason Harris was right in his kitchen.
Well, that was a wide receiver screen that time, and it's something that Colorado wants to do a lot today. They want to get the ball in the hands of their receivers so they can run after the catch, something they sorely miss as opposed to what happened to them last year and this year.
Well, the Cougars scored.
There's a couple overtimes today. It's good to see that rule is being utilized to its maximum.
A loss of a yard on the play. 3rd and 11 for Colorado. Here comes Warner. They get it away. Complete but short of a first down. The catch was made by Brody Hefner. And Colorado will have to punt the football, which has been interesting to say the least. Not only this season, but really the last 2 years for Rick Neuheisel's club.
And what they're going to do today, they're going to rotate punters between 47, Nick Peach, and Andy Mitchell, number 28, who's in there right now. In the last 2 games, Drew, they have had 7 penalties in their punt game. To me, they've got no confidence right now in what they're doing, and they've panicked a little bit. This is an area they've got to settle down in today.
This is only Mitchell's 2nd punt of the year. He was sick the last couple of weeks and didn't travel. He hits this one high and short. And it takes a Kansas bounce. The good news is it was not returnable as Hefner covered up the punt. 4:33 to go in a scoreless first quarter in Boulder. 34-yard punt.
Improving the popular Accord V6 was quite a challenge. We gave it a more powerful 200 horsepower VTEC engine, a longer aerodynamic shape, a roomier, more luxurious interior, even increased the size of the trunk. Still, the improvement we're proudest of is the price. It's lower, $950 lower. This is an Accord like no other from Honda.
Sweet dream, baby. Sweet dream, baby. Sweet dream, baby. How long must I dream?
Sweet dreams from Doubletree.
Inside the Denver Post, you'll find fuel for your fire. Football Monday gives you the stats, the interviews, and the outrageous moves. And exclusively in the Wednesday newsstand edition, you'll score the official team publication, The Broncos Report. So pick up The Broncos Report in Wednesday's edition wherever the Post is sold. Every fan needs the facts. Every fan needs a fix. Get yours. The Denver Post. Essential reading. Look for The Broncos Report each Wednesday only at newsstands.
50th consecutive meeting between Colorado and Kansas. No score late in the first quarter. Fox Sports News Primetime takes you one step beyond with in-depth interviews and analysis from around the nation. We are live on site covering your home teams with up-to-the-minute scores and highlights. That's why at Fox Sports News Primetime, only we can say we are there. Tonight after the game in most areas, check local listings. Zach Wegner leads the Jayhawks onto the field. Second possession for them. We're at Folsom Field in Boulder. Drew Goodman, Artie Gigantino, and Greg Bell. No score late in the first. Quick hitting play for Van. And he has a knack of falling forward. Nick Ziegler and Hannibal Navies combined to bring him down. A pickup of 3.
You know, this is an interesting point here. So far this year, the average starting point for the Colorado defense has been the 34-yard line. And the defense is playing pretty good.
38-38 in the second overtime. Wegner down the middle. Got a man. It's Tremaine Fulton. Tackled by Ryan Sutter, a big gainer for the Jayhawks.
And that's what I was talking about. So sometimes it's very difficult for a defense right now to defend only 66 yards. And as you're going to see here, Wegner goes back, and Fulton just runs down the middle of the field, and the freshman comes wide open. And one of the things Terry Allen talked about yesterday was getting the ball to Fulton because he's the best pure receiver they have.
This is Mitch Bowles, the third team running back. So Kansas rotating their backs. Ryan Black, the strong safety, came up and made the play. Ryan Black a week ago, along with Ryan Sutter combining on the tackle. Ryan Black a week ago was barely on the field defensively.
Well, one of the things Colorado did a week ago was they employed what they call their pirate defense, which was 3-4 corners and one safety. And that safety was Marcus Washington. He's a corner playing safety. And the odd man out was Ryan Black. But he's fine now, and he ought to have a good game tonight.
Two tight ends again for Kansas. Bowles, big opening, running over people, and then he takes a big lick and pops up. Ryan Black put his helmet in there, and then a flag comes in. That might have been a spear. That may have been a spear on number 6, the senior Ryan Black from Phoenix, Arizona. No, unsportsmanlike conduct called on Kansas. That'll cost him 15 yards.
And that's something you don't want to have happen here if you have the ball on the 20-yard line. And it looks like it's against Bowles, but I don't know what exactly he did. It looked up here like it might have been a spear against Ryan Black. But we will see here at the end exactly what happens. He does a nice job of running the ball. He turns, and he gets up and says something to somebody, and he points to his own chest, and that is unsportsmanlike conduct, celebration.
Do you know what? I think that's ridiculous.
So do I.
He took a good lick, he popped up, said I'm fine, and I think that's completely unwarranted.
Me too, and you know what, Drew? He's a guy that hasn't played much this year. He's a speed guy that's only going to get a couple of shots tonight, and he's just a young guy, excited about playing and excited about making a good play there.
Julius Bruce has come into the game. 3:05 to play in the opening quarter. Kansas has moved it well twice. Colorado moved it well on their initial possession. No points as of yet. Eric Patterson splits out wide to the left. Fulton in the slot. Wegner hands it off, and Bruce picks his spot. He picks up about 5 or 6, and another flag comes in late. And in the backfield, Ian Loper was having a conversation with Zach Wegner, and that is where the referee threw the flag.
Well, he obviously said something to the quarterback, and now what's going to happen is that Colorado is going to get penalized.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. Be a half the distance penalty, automatic first down.
Now Rick Neuheisel wants an explanation. That'll cost Colorado. So many things have happened without a score. We haven't had an opportunity to show you the Colorado defense. Terrell Cade back in the lineup. He's nursing a sore ankle. Did not play last week against Oklahoma State. Hannibal Navy's one of the better linebackers in college football. He is a junior from the Oakland, California area. And solid secondary. Marcus Washington has played all but 2 snaps this year defensively. Short gain for Bruce on first down from the 15.
And again, Kansas is coming out here tonight, and they are saying we are not going to throw the football unless we have to. We are going to try to keep this game close by running the football at the University of Colorado. Now, coming into the game, Kansas was 10th in the Big 12, 89th in the country with only 2.9 yards per rush at 105 per game. But they're not showing that tonight.
They needed an 18-yard gain late in the game against Texas Tech last week just to get on the plus side. Bruce and Colorado gets about 4 or 5 gold helmets to the football. Nick Ziegler was there initially, number 57. And Mike Phillips, Brandon Southward, a couple of linebackers also in on the play, which will set up 3rd down and 9 for the Jayhawks.
And you know, the last 2 weeks against Texas A&M and against Oklahoma State, they have given up 500 yards on the ground. And so far this year, in 11 opportunities, the Jayhawks have only scored 3 touchdowns inside the 20.
They need the 4-yard line. Bruce nowhere to run. He'll lose a couple of yards. Ryan Olsen, 55, Vili Mau. The 2 gigantic defensive tackles for Colorado plugged it up.
You know, I'm all for running the football, but down here in this situation, you got to throw it a little bit because those 2 big guys inside, Olsen via Mau, they don't give a yard down there, Drew. And as you're going to see here, the fullback Davis, he just gets stuffed, and the Bruce has got absolutely nowhere to run. I think Kansas has got to throw the ball down here in that situation.
True freshman Joe Garcia, 33 yards away. He hammers it down the middle, and Kansas breaks on top, 3-0. Garcia, in his rookie campaign, 6 of 8.
thing I love about college football is a freshly painted field.
Being a fan is tough when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky if there's even a box score. Well, if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and strategies, transactions, trade rumors, injury reports, and the lowdown on the minors. Plus football, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call now, 1-800-253-8665.
Beautiful night in Boulder, Colorado. You wouldn't know it was autumn or the 3rd week of October. Snowing up in the mountains. They've already started skiing, but close to 80 degrees at kickoff tonight. We welcome all the folks watching around the country tonight on Fox Sports Net. Houston 41-38 in double overtime over Cincinnati. A win for the Cougars tonight. Drew Goodman, Artie Gigantino, Greg Bell. Kansas with a 33-yard field goal has taken the lead. And Joe Garcia kicks it 9 yards deep. And if you're going to kick it to Ben Kelly, it better be 9 yards deep. Kelly leads the nation in kick returns, almost busted the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Last time Kansas was here, they shocked the 4th-ranked Buffaloes 40-24. Of course, Terry Allen wasn't the coach then. Guy who's up at the University of Minnesota now, who nearly had a pretty big upset of his own, was coaching the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, Glenn Mason, and that would have been the upset of the year so far. I'll tell you, this guy is doing a great job so far of re-energizing this Kansas football program.
2 tight ends, and John Hessler gets Kansas to jump.
And what he's doing there, he's using a non-rhythmic cadence. In other words, he is going to go hut, 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 and delay a little bit in between snap counts. And you use that to draw defensive linemen, especially like Ron Warner, who are great pass rushers, off sides.
Well, there's a heated conversation going on right now as to whether it was encroachment or a false start by Colorado.
Well, it certainly looked like Kansas jumped off sides.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. There were 12 players on the field. However, that does not come into play since there was no play. 1st and 15.
Rick Neuheisel absolutely has to be beside himself. Here is a team that has a lot of veterans on offense, a 5th-year player at quarterback, yet every week they have delay of games, they have false starts. Why is that, Artie?
Well, one of it is because I think they get the play in too late. And number 2, when you substitute as much as Colorado does, they have got to be a little bit clearer in who is on the field and who's not. That's a sideline error.
Hessler with time. And he gets it to his tight end, and Tony Blevins makes Brody Hefner pay for the catch. That's the 6th catch of the year for Hefner.
I like this guy. I think this guy's got a chance someday to be a National Football League player. He not only is an outstanding tight end catching the football, but he's a long snapper. And you know that the long snapper right now is a very valuable player on all teams, college or in the NFL. He's a good football player for this Colorado offense.
They might not get the snap off. They do right before the end of the quarter. Barnes on 2nd down and 6 gets about half of what he needed. That will be all for the first chapter in Boulder. The Kansas Jayhawks lead it 3-0. And we'll step aside.
Is that leather?
That's right. This here's the new Subaru Outback Limited.
2 sunroofs. Nice touch.
I hear it has full-time all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Holds a turn better than a Blazer. Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
You know, the wife and kids would really like one of those.
Bodies at rest tend to stay at rest. Bodies at motion tend to get thirsty. Now pay attention. Get thirsty, get Gatorade. Get Gatorade, get Gator points. Get Gator points, get Big 12 gear. When you get Big 12 gear, you tend to get noticed by members of the opposite sex. The kind that would otherwise spit in your direction. I've seen it, it happens. So, get Gatorade, get Gator points, get Big 12 gear.
When the red robin comes bobbing along, there'll be no more sobbing when he starts dropping his old sweet song. Wake up, you sleepyhead. Get up, get out of bed. Cheer up, the sun is red. Live, love, laugh, and be happy.
Wake up and call 1-800-Missouri.
Cap off your football weekend with JB, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie. The best analysis because they've been there. Fox Sports News tomorrow at 10.
The Jayhawks leading the Buffaloes 3-0 as we begin the second quarter. Artie Gigantino, you made me drag this grease board upstairs. Now I see why.
Well, here's what's happening tonight. The University of Kansas is trying to outman Colorado with the point of attack. What they're doing, they're pulling big old Glasgow, the right offensive guard around here. They're bringing Davis, the fullback, up in here, and they're handing the ball off to Van up in here. They are making yardage because what they're doing, they're double-teaming the defensive tackle and isolating on the linebacker and defensive end. So far, so good for Kansas running the football.
John Hessler on 3rd down and a yard. Runs quarterback sneak. Eric Van. There you see him on the sideline. The offensive unit for Kansas needs to have a good day. There's some similarities between some of the problems for Kansas offensively, as Colorado did get enough for the first down, and some of the problems already for Colorado offensively, in that the defense has been carrying the teams, the respective teams out here, and sometimes you can get division when that's the case.
Yeah, it's been half bad for both of these teams. We'll come back to that in a second.
Marlon Barnes, 2 tight ends. And he breaks the tackle, and now he has some room. Barnes to the sideline. And he's run out of bounds at the 46-yard line, an advance of 22 yards. Well, let's go west. Dr. Pepper game break. Here's Kevin Frazier. Kevin? .33 to go in the second quarter. Kansas leading 3-0. Barnes on the sideline, the fastest of the trio of running backs you'll see for Colorado tonight. Dwayne Charrington's in the backfield. His first touch of the year last week, went 73 yards for a touchdown on a screen. Hessler down the middle, good chop. This is Hessler, the guy you like, to the 25-yard line. Great adjustment by Hessler initially, and also by Hefner on the catch.
You know, one of the things, and again, John Hessler gets a lot of criticism, but the good side of this guy, he's got unbelievable escapability. I've seen him this year escape 5 sacks against Wyoming. This guy can escape and make a negative play into a positive play. And good old Hefner downfield with those sure hands makes another good catch.
Cheverini and Toller to the near side. Charrington hammered by Warner. Does he close in a hurry? 6'3" and 250 pounds. The Kansas outside linebacker, number 99. He's a senior from Independence, Kansas.
You know, and Kansas is a little bit different than most people. They run a 34 defense, which is unusual right now. And they have got a group of guys at linebacker that make a lot of plays. And as you can see, they've got great national statistics, but they have scored 4 times on defense alone here at Kansas. That's excellent defense right now for them.
Second down and 8 for Colorado. Man open, this is Savoy to the First and goal, Colorado.
You know, Savoy just turned Jason Harris all the way around. And one of the things that Kansas doesn't want to do is play much man-to-man. Savoy is a big-time receiver, and you're going to see Harris trying to jam him and then come back out. But he takes him too far inside, and obviously Savoy is wide open. Savoy has got to make big plays tonight to get this Colorado offense going again.
They bring Fisk in at fullback, Marlon Barnes. Good short yardage runner. Hessler changing the play. They run option, late pitch, wide open. Barnes struts in, touchdown Colorado. Great decision by Hessler.
Excellent decision. Colorado runs the option down in the red zone all the time because they're expecting man-to-man. But that was a perfect pitch without even looking at Marlon Barnes. And every time Marlon Barnes is in the football game, Drew, he seems to make something positive happen. I think Colorado's got to play this guy a lot more this game and for the rest of the year.
Jeremy Aldridge had to kick the laces, but he banged it through. And the Buffaloes go on top 7-3. 13:08 to go in the second quarter.
Just announced from Ford Motor Company, Ford Motor Credit, and your Rocky Mountain Ford dealer. 2,000 cashback or 2.9 financing on a new Ford Taurus. The choice is yours. Go with 2.9 on any model, style, or color Taurus. Or choose the cashback and get $2,000. That's 2,000 cashback or 2.9 financing on Ford's best-selling car, Taurus. Now is the time. These are the deals, and your Rocky Mountain Ford dealer is the place.
It's tough being a fan when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky if I can find last week's score. But if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News, no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and analysis, team-by-team reports, and coverage of all the college conferences, plus baseball, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues of the Sporting News. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and you'll get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call 1-800-253-8665 now.
You're watching the all-new Big 12 Conference on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
Big 12 football on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By GTE, the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA. And by Bello from Philips Magnavox, the power of a computer in the palm of your hand. We're in Boulder, Colorado. Phil Savoy's nice catch set up the touchdown run from Marlon Barnes. 4 yards away, an 80-yard drive for Colorado to take the 7-3 lead. Jason Leslie will kick it deep. The man in the middle for Kansas, the guy they want handling it, is Mitch Bowles, the sophomore from Las Vegas. He'll have an opportunity from the 1. Good play on the coverage unit. Eric McCready, a backup wideout, made the tackle shy of the 20-yard line.
All right, on the last touchdown, you're going to see Hessler come on the corner for an option. Now, what happens is that Harris, the corner right here, or Gaddy, excuse me, sitting right here, he's got to come up and take the pitch man away, and Bratton, the inside linebacker, has got to run to the alley, and they don't get there. Bratton gets blocked, and Gaddy doesn't secure the pitch man, and as a result, it's a touchdown. But assignments in option football are critical, especially down on the goal line. Gaddy's got to come across the line of scrimmage, Drew, and take the pitch man right now and force the quarterback to run the ball.
Chandler and Hancock to the near side in the slot for Kansas. Wegner gives it to Van. Another good opening for Van. He gets 9, almost 10 yards before Ben Kelly tackled him and tried to steal the football unsuccessfully. Also a flag on the play.
Well, Ben Kelly is proving he can do a lot of things for this Colorado defense. Return kicks, cover, and come up and make tackles. And again, we don't know who this is on right now, but I just think there's far too many penalties being called in the last couple of games that we have done.
Holding on the offense, a 10-yard penalty, and remains first down.
So that'll cost Kansas. Let's take a look at our Burger King game summary. Garcia with the 32-yard field goal. Kansas has had success on the ground. Colorado has turned it over once. They have the touchdown on the 4-yard run from Marlon Barnes. Pretty close football game.
Very close football game, and you got to say Colorado right now, Drew, is doing a nice job of mixing it up, run and pass.
Van, the single setback. He gets the handoff, and that is blown up in the backfield. 82. Brady McDonald almost took the handoff himself.
And he had a good game last week against Oklahoma State. He's a young redshirt freshman. That's a real interesting story. He is 6'4". He's 260 pounds, and he comes off the corner and does an excellent job. He gets up the field. No one really blocks him, but he makes a move inside. And if nobody blocks you, Drew, you ought to make the play in the backfield. Did you know he's from a town up in South Dakota of only 75 people?
Grew up on a wheat farm.
Hey, played 9-man football in high school.
And this play, a short gain. It'll set up third down. Ty Gregorak, the only true freshman playing for Colorado right now, a middle linebacker who they think is going to be a great player, made the stop. He's number 35 defensively. There he is. This is a kid. He's from Spokane, Washington. He's 250 pounds, a true freshman.
And we talked to him last week. He's as good a looking young linebacker as there is in the United States. That guy is going to be a superstar here at middle linebacker for the University of Colorado defense in the future.
Well, they had a superstar the last couple of years in Matt Russell. And this one's blown dead. One problem is Wegner doesn't know it yet.
You know, going back to Gregorak and some of the other young players that are playing for the Colorado defense here, Colorado will play on an average between 21.
Dead ball, delay. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains third down.
Between 21 and 23 defensive players a game. Number one, they have confidence in all of them, but number two, they want to be ready so when their turn comes in the future to play, they've got some game experience.
And Rick Neuheisel wants to get even more young players in additional game experience. We're at the 2 and 3 start. Third down and half an acre. Short gain for Eric Van, and Kansas will have to punt it, trailing 7-3. Let's go west. Another Dr. Pepper game break.
Drew, number 17 Air Force entered today 7-0. Fresno State's Jeff Hanna changed all that. A 51-yard field goal. Bulldogs with the big upset. 2017, the final score. Let's go back.
Well, Kevin, Fresno State, a tough team to figure out this year. They were shut out 35-0 by Oklahoma State. They've had a couple of good wins, and that right up there at the top.
That's a magnificent win for them, and I think Air Force does a magnificent job of coaching and getting the maximum out of the football players that they have.
Nearly blocked. Dean Royal gets it away, but it's a short punt, and it takes a big Kansas hop to the 42-yard line. That one was nearly blocked out of the end zone.
Well, Dean Royal's a big guy. In fact, he's a transfer from Tyler Junior College. He's very athletic. And it's easy for him because he's so tall to get a ball block because he reaches in. And old Toller comes up the middle and only almost gets it. Toller, Robert Toller, is a wide receiver that they use on the punt block team because of their speed and their ability to get off the ball.
He's a guy they want to take a good long look at wide receiver as well tonight. John Hessler still the quarterback. They want to play the two young guys tonight as well. We'll turn in to Phil Savoy running after the catch. He'll pick up 17 yards to the 40. And we go down and check in with Greg Bell. Greg?
Well, on these last defensive series for Kansas, they tried to make an adjustments with their zone defense and put the outside backers on a man coverage on those tight ends, because Colorado's is basically sending those tight ends to the open area. But the problem when you put them in man is you don't have anyone to force on the option.
All right, Greg, Herschel Troutman, single setback, slot to the top on 1st and 10 for the Buffaloes. Hessler again changing things at the line. Straight ahead, Troutman breaking tackles, got 5 yards before he ran into Steve Bratton. Steve Bratton plays at 235 pounds, but last week he lost about 12 pounds. He was sick.
Sick, and it's almost a mismatch in it. Now there's a guy that I think is real interesting, Brett McGraw, their nose guard. He has got to play good along with his teammate Steve Bratton inside tonight and try to stifle this running attack inside by the University of Colorado, and so far they're controlling it.
Here's an option look. Hessler keeps the football, breaks a tackle, and Smith very close to a 1st down. Again, it was Bratton defensively, and Jeremy Hannock, a couple of Colorado products. Hannock from Louisville, Colorado, which is about 5 minutes from Boulder. He's number 95. John Hessler, all the criticism this year. Guy, of course, was the super sub, the great backup coming in the last couple of years. He's a very good athlete, Artie.
He's a very good athlete that's hard to bring down because he's so strong when he runs the football. And I think just having him run a little bit more early in the game might help him, because it might settle him down a little bit.
Troutman 3rd and short, and good leg drive. He got it over the 30-yard line. He needed about a foot, and he got about a 1.5 feet.
Colorado has done a good job this year in 3rd and short yardage situations. In fact, talking to the coaching staff, that is one of the reasons at the beginning of the year they went to more of a 2-back alignment with a fullback and a tailback in the backfield, Drew, to help themselves in short yardage plays like that.
They measure, but he got the 1st down by plenty. 8:40 to go in the 2nd quarter, 7-3 Colorado.
All right, here's the fullback now, Big Old Fisk. Now, he's a guy that doesn't carry the ball much, but he is the lead blocker on this. He does a good job of getting in there, and he does a nice job of getting his hands on the defender. He does a good job also of letting go so the official doesn't see it. But it's a good block and obviously a positive play for Colorado's offense.
Barnes in the backfield, Savoy and Cheverini to the near side. Hessler all day, end zone shot towards Stiggers, in and out of his hands. The ball was there, and 5'7" Marcus Stiggers tried to climb the ladder in front of Tony Blevins.
You know, if Stiggers was a little bit bigger, he would have caught that. And Colorado likes to go for the jugular vein, so to speak, when they're down in this area. That is a fade pattern up there, and it looks like Stiggers misjudges it just a little bit. He's got to get better eye contact on the football and then go up and get it.
Artie, that's one, though, you got to have.
Yeah, you got to have it. You better believe it.
2 hands on the football. 2nd and 10 for Colorado. Hessler, quick release. Hessler again, his 4th catch. 1st down to the 13. Again, it was Blevins having to make the tackle for the Jayhawks.
Brody Hefner is right now the go-to guy today. And you're going to see here, Hessler has got a big-time passing lane right in the middle here. And Hefner does a great job right there of finding it, getting down the field, and making positive yardage. The design of that play cleared out the middle for Hefner.
1st and 10, the Buffaloes trying to extend their lead. Give it to Marlon Barnes, and that is closed down in a hurry by Maurice Gaddy, the strong safety, who was right at the line of scrimmage. Haven't heard much from that man, Ron Warner. They've done a good job in pass protection, Artie.
They're doing a good job in pass protection because they're keeping the tight end in on that side or assigning a back to block him. The other thing they're doing, the University of Colorado on offense, is they're running away from the big fella. I think this guy is a great player. He's gained about 40 pounds in the last year to beef himself up from 210 to 250 to be a dominant defensive player.
You know, in high school, he's one of the best sprinters in the state of Kansas. Hessler hit from behind, lost the football. They're going to say his arm was coming forward. And Ron Warner on cue with his 11.5 sack of the year. Well, the minute you talk about him and you say he hasn't done much, he comes in and nearly decapitates John Hessler.
He's fast and he's powerful. And they bring Gaddy off the corner too. But that is sheer power running over an offensive lineman to get to the quarterback. This guy is a brilliant pass rusher, and obviously the 10.5 sacks support that.
Leads the nation. I'm not so sure that wasn't a fumble, Artie.
I think it might have been. Being a defensive guy, I would have given that one to the defense, Drew.
I knew I didn't have to ask you that. 3rd down and 8 for Colorado. They need the 3-yard line. Fade to the end zone, and the catch is made by Javon Green. The redshirt freshman out-leaped Jason Harris, the senior corner.
Javon Green is 6'2". He's from Inglewood, California. It's a great throw that time by Hessler. He puts it to a spot and allows his receiver to go up and battle for the football over Jason Harris, who is only 5'10", but I stood next to him yesterday. He's really only 5'8". So that was a height mismatch, big time, by Colorado.
Aldridge gets the extra point through, and Colorado now with a 14-3 lead. One of the young guys, they wanted to get involved. Javon Green scores.
Improving the popular Accord V6 was quite a challenge. We gave it a more powerful 200 horsepower VTEC engine, a longer aerodynamic shape, a roomier, more luxurious interior, even increased the size of the trunk. Still, the improvement we're proudest of is the price. It's lower, $950 lower. This is an Accord like no other from Honda.
Something to do in Denver, get the Rocky Mountain News Weekend Special, Thursday through Sunday for just 40 cents a week. The Rocky Mountain News Weekend Special, 4 days, 40 cents. Call 1-800-892-NEWS. If you live here, you get it.
What can you get when you get into Conoco? Something special at every one.
Hi, thought you might be stopping by, so I made sure the fountain is flowing, got some snacks for the kids, and made my daily shine rounds, because clean counts.
Get into Conoco for good gas and a whole lot more. What can you get when you get into Conoco? Something special at every one.
Hi, I'm Bruce, and when you come to my Conoco, you'll find national name brands, quality gasoline, and a whole lot of pride.
Get into Conoco for good gas and a whole lot more.
Just want to remind you to stick around for our halftime show. Solomon Wilcots will join me with the latest highlights from around the country, including a major upset in the SEC. But right now, let's send it back out to Folsom Field in Boulder, where Drew Goodman and Artie Gigantino are standing by. And hey, Artie, Solomon and I once again want to thank you for the Football 101 facts you sent us earlier this week.
Hey, I'm always trying to help. I'm a team guy, guys. I just saw those things as trends in college football. And just to share our listeners with and our viewers with that, I mean, I see a lot more people right now going for it, Drew, on 4th and 1. I see a lot more blitzing, and I see a much more mobile quarterback playing college football right now.
There is Bowles. That's who Kansas wants to have handle it. Mitch Bowles. Colorado leading 14-3. Artie, you sent me that fax.
Well, it's on a need-to-know basis, Drew.
Oh, I see. I got to get this click. On one hop to Bowles, 2 yards deep. He started to come out, and they're going to say it was a touchback. That was dangerously close to a safety.
That was a good decision, though, by him, because it is a touchback. When the ball is bouncing around like that, it slows the football down and obviously gets the cover people a chance to cover down the field. And so far, he is in the end zone. That's a great call by the official and a good decision by Bowles.
I'll tell you what, that was very close.
Well, he walked the old tightrope there, and he knew exactly where he was. That's good balance.
Van, the tailback, behind Greg Davis. Wegner, all day to got a postman out there. Oh, what a play. Brian Gray, the tight end, had a step. Rashidi Barnes went upstairs and knocked it away.
Well, Wegner had everybody fooled on that one, and he had plenty of time. And Brian Gray, who's a half tight end, half wide receiver, is wide open down there, but Rashidi Barnes comes out of nowhere to knock the ball away. That is excellent athleticism by Barnes, and a good reaction by number 36, Ryan Sutter, coming across also. That's really good safety play, Drew.
Second down and 10. Three-step drop, and behind Patterson, Eric Patterson, who was running an up route, and Washington was closer to the football. Marcus Washington read the play very well. There's John Hessler. He's 8 of 12 tonight, playing very, very well. And if you're just joining us, part of Rick Neuheisel's game plan is to get 2 young quarterbacks into the game tonight.
One is Jeremy Weisinger, a young runner type sophomore quarterback, and the other one is Adam Bledsoe, the younger brother of Drew Bledsoe from the New England Patriots. This guy right here, Rick Neuheisel, has got to make a decision sometime tonight to give those 2 young players some game experience.
Third down and 10 for Kansas. This is not where they excel. Wegner throwing, complete to Patterson. Good delivery, good catch at the 39-yard line. Damon Wheeler had the coverage. They'll move the chains for Kansas.
And what you're going to see down here on the bottom is Patterson. But the guys that deserve the credit are those guys in there for doing a really good job of protecting for Wegner. He does a good job of running down. He runs a stop, comes back to the inside, and he's wide open. Colorado that time was playing a 2-deep zone. They are a man team.
Van with a nice opening. Picks up 3 or 4. Before Ryan Sutter knocked him off his feet. Sutter, the former walk-on, grew up in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is where Colorado State University is situated. And he said, if I walk on somewhere, I want to walk on the best program I can. And he was always a Buffalo fan.
He's a tough guy. He's got 80 tackles this year, which leads the team, obviously, and 4 passes broken up. He's a linebacker playing safety.
Second down and 7 for the Jayhawks. Slot to the top. Van again, and a good opening across the 50, another first down. Gregorak the stop, but Kansas doing a very good job in their run game.
Well, first of all, they do a good job again in the offensive line. It's the perfect snap. You can't start the play without the snap. It's the right handoff, and look at old Van. He has got some left and right, some east and west moves in his hips. This guy has got great vision. And, you know, he used to be a baseball player. And the offensive line, led by that big old guy, Justin Glasgow, is doing a nice job tonight. And, you know, it's funny, Glasgow was a tackle most of the year. And they moved him to offensive guard 2 weeks ago because Coach Allen was nervous about the guards against the defensive tackles at the University of Oklahoma, and he has now stayed at guard.
First and 10 for Kansas, and they have a new left tackle, Dan Dircher, we'll tell you about in a moment. Kansas goes to Van, trying to swing wide. Can he get to the corner? He does for a couple of yards. Knocked out of bounds by Brandon Southward. The left tackle, 79, Dan Dircher. He's been a left tackle, Artie, for about 48 hours.
And he was a defensive tackle a week ago. They moved him over because they just felt he could start at left tackle. And he's a left tackle with a left-handed stance. That helps his pass protection. It also helps him getting off the ball. And his dad played defensive tackle at Kansas and wore number 79. Dan used to wear 90, but he switched his dad's number.
He must have been up late studying the playbook to know which direction he was going.
Well, the guard helps him on every play. The guard says, hey, block this guy or block that guy. It's not brain surgery here now, Drew. Okay, it's football. Block the guy across from you.
We're at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado with Artie Gigantino and Greg Bell. I'm Drew Goodman. 14-3. The home folks are happy right now. Colorado under 500 for the first time since they lost their opener in 1987. Trying to get back to 500, 3-3. Kansas 3rd and 6. They need the Buffalo 39. Wegner again, good protection. Flag comes in. The pass is incomplete as they were trying to get the football to Tremaine Fulton.
Well, it looked like pass interference that time, and Coach Allen, I think, agrees with me downfield against the Colorado defensive backfield. And I think sometimes when you play a lot of man, and we saw it last week when Oklahoma State played against Colorado, you know, the availability of committing the foul is there because you get beaten. Sometimes you grab a guy. And sometimes that's good coaching. If you're beat, to grab a guy and not give up a touchdown. You'd rather have the foul as opposed to the touchdown. But
particularly, Artie, in college football, because it's a 15-yard penalty as opposed to the pros.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. It'll be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Well, it was holding of sorts.
Well, sometimes your hands get tangled up in there. You know, you're going to see Wegner here now. He throws the ball down the field. And this guy's a big guy. And you can see he stays up. He jumps up a little bit. And yes, he's fired up. He'll take it any way he can get it, Drew.
Yep, he'll take it absolutely any way he can get it. It's been a tough go for Kansas offensively this year. That play to Van, his 15th carry. Brandon Southward had great penetration and made the tackle. But as a whole, the offensive line, which has been much maligned for the Jayhawks, done a pretty good job.
Yes, they have. And, you know, they came into this game nervous. There were 4 walk-ons scheduled to start in the offensive line. Walk-ons when they first came to the University of Kansas. But I think they've gotten better and better and better as the year has gone on. And they're doing a nice job, like you said, tonight.
Pressure coming, and the pass is away, complete to the 21-yard line. Good throw to Termaine Fulton. He's the fastest of the Kansas wideouts. The Jayhawks are 4-0 in Lawrence this year. But Artie, when they go on the road, they've had problems, big time.
They've had big-time problems, and, you know, on top of all this, as a football team, they have minus 35 yards rushing on the road and no touchdowns. They've only scored 2 touchdowns on the road, and both of them have been on defense.
3rd down and 1. The up back, Greg Davis, gets the football and should have enough for a first down. Ran into Ryan Olsen. But he got enough. First down, Kansas.
Big old Greg Davis now. He's 5'11", 230 pounds of muscle. Now, he was a tailback in high school, and he's a very, very good lead blocker who talks about loving to hit all the time. He used to be a linebacker, but now as a fullback, he's able to deliver blows into people also. So he's a tough guy that's a true football player.
Also a good student. Van, nowhere to go. Vili Mau and Hannibal Navies. Well, you run into Mau and you lose your helmet. That's what happens when you run into Mau.
Big time, big time. And Mau is an interesting guy also. His name in Tongan means destroy. He's one of 11 children, and he's got 2 young sons that he says are going to be defensive tackles also someday. And those guys must be huge. One is 2 and one is 4 years old.
Eric Van, the tailback, on 2nd down and 11. Wegner, end zone shot to Patterson, and a flag comes in the area of interference. Marcus Washington looking around saying, who, me? Rick Neuheisel was upset with the number of pass interference.
No flag on the play. Pass is uncatchable.
The number of pass interference calls this season, and they picked it up, and I think that was the right call.
I do too, because I did not see Marcus Washington touch him. He is a good player. He doesn't need to use infractions in order to stop it. That was an uncatchable ball, number 1, but number 2 was good coverage.
It was excellent coverage. 3rd down and 11 for the Jayhawks. They need the 9. Van gets about 4 yards to the 16. Rashidi Barnes, strong safety, came up and made the tackle. And we will see Joe Garcia again. Clock moving, 2:05, 2:04 to go in the first half. Colorado leading 14-3. Kansas has been unable to get it in the end zone, but they've moved the ball pretty well between the 20s.
You know, Garcia's 5 of 7 on field goals tonight. He's now 6 of 8 with the 1 tonight. And his longest this year has been 51 yards. So this ought to be a chip shot for him.
Good hold, 33 yards away. And he parks it in the middle. Good job by Hamilton Hill getting this one down. 14-6 our score in Boulder.
Bodies at rest tend to stay at rest. Bodies at motion tend to get thirsty. Now pay attention. Get thirsty, get Gatorade. Get Gatorade, get Gator points. Get Gator points, get Big 12 gear. When you get Big 12 gear, you tend to get noticed by members of the opposite sex. The kind that wouldn't otherwise spit in your direction. I've seen it, it happens. So, get Gatorade, get Gator points, get Big 12 gear.
Discover the defensive training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting videotape. Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same revolutionary new training techniques that have produced Baseball World's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. The Defensive Drills video vastly improves players' arm strength, running speed, quickness, agility, and infield and outfield defensive skills. Even coaches practice organization. Lou Pavlovich Jr., editor of Collegiate Baseball magazine, calls it a masterpiece, the best defensive drill video ever produced. Many professional players are excited about this videotape. Just ask Atlanta Braves superstar Fred McGriff.
This is the instructional video that gets results.
Baseball World's Defensive Drills video makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free. 1-800-253-8665. That's 1-800-253-8665.
It really worked for me.
This is Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
Big 12 football on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By GTE, the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA. And by First Plus Financial. At First Plus, you'll get an answer on your home loan before you hang up. Call 1-800-510-PLUS. Kansas with another field goal from 33 yards away. 14-6 Colorado. Joe Garcia, only 8 of his 24 kicks have been returned this year. Make it 8 of 25. Very good place kicker. Let's check in again with Greg Bell. Greg, what do you have?
Guys, after that last defensive series when Colorado scored, Terry Allen came over to the bench and basically told the defense, we're going to have to put pressure, so look for Wagner to start blitzing a lot. They basically pointed to him and said, now for your responsibility from this point on is the quarterback.
Ron Warner, the outside linebacker, already has 1 sack tonight.
And it'll be zone blitzes because one of the things Kansas does not do is play a lot of blitz with man-to-man. And one of the reasons is they don't feel they can cover all the time in the secondary when they're blitzing.
Hand it to Dwayne Sherrington. And Sherrington runs into Ron Warner, who hog ties him and drops him to the ground. This guy is good looking, isn't he?
Yeah, that was a sure tackle. And you know what's amazing about him? He's only been here for 2 years. He was a junior college transfer from Independence Junior College. And last year, he played, but he didn't start all the time. This guy has really made something of himself this offseason, Drew.
And you know what, Artie? Only 2 starts, as you mentioned, last year, yet he was third-team All-Big 12, so he turned heads when he was on the field.
And this 3-4 scheme that they run, I think, has helped them because it really highlights the linebackers.
Crowd wants John Hessler to get the ball snapped. Clock moving, inside a minute to go. Sherrington, a good hard run for a couple of yards. They're booing because they want to see Colorado try to put more points on the board.
Well, you know, sometimes the crowd thinks they know more than the coaches.
Coming up at halftime, Kevin and Solomon out west. Penn State nearly went down today. And, of course, Southern Cal and the Fighting Irish got together this afternoon. And an upset in the SEC. 3rd down and 3. And Colorado clearly not in a rush here. Hessler has a screen set up to Sherrington. This one went for a touchdown last week. Sherrington out of bounds at the 33-yard line with 12 seconds to go. Tony Blevins knocked him out. That is the same exact play that went for 6 against Oklahoma State.
You know, One of the things that Colorado has, people criticize them for not being able to run the ball well, but they are very athletic up here. And you're going to see their guys get out here, and you're going to see Charrington come out on the screen. Now, when you have athletic linemen out in front of you, they can do a good job of blocking downfield against smaller, faster defensive backs. They are perfect for the screen game. And that guy right there, Charrington, runs it as good as anybody on this Colorado team. That was clinic perfect. That right there, that picture.
Arthur, 12 seconds left. Now you're in plus territory. What do you run here? You want to try to get at least 3.
I would go to the end zone twice if I could here, and then maybe try a long field. The one thing Rick Neuheisel doesn't want to do is play this game on his heels. It doesn't look like Kansas is going to be able to score too many points tonight against his defense. So why not gamble a little bit here on offense? He wants to get a good win here tonight.
Were you surprised that they were content, at least initially, to run down the clock?
Yes, I was, because to me, you want to go for it, Derek. And those are the kind of things that they have been booed for and booed in the newspapers for. You know, people have really criticized them for the illegal procedures on offense, too many men on the field, and some of the clock management in the 2-minute situations.
12 seconds to go in the half. Colorado with 2 timeouts has it at the Kansas 34. Charrington remains in the game. 2 receivers to the top, and the flag comes in.
And it looks like somebody moved in the Colorado offensive line. At least that's the indication from the officials wearing Kansas uniforms tonight, Drew.
That's got to, you know, we talked about the frustration of not being able to get the ball snapped offensively. This is a continuing theme for Colorado.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty and remains first down.
You know, you can always count on those defensive linemen to tell you what happened. Absolutely. They're the first to point it out.
Well, Colorado, normally a great passing team, but look who they're behind this year. Penn State, more of a run team. Idaho, Indiana, Toledo. 3 touchdowns in the air coming in, 10 interceptions.
Yeah, and not putting up the big numbers that they have in the past. Right now, coming into this game tonight, they were 51st in the nation passing offense, and that's an area they've been in the top 20 the last 3 years with Rick Neuheisel.
Kansas brings 4. Hessler throws it to Savoy at the 30. The catch is made. Clock moving. 5-4. Colorado gets the timeout called.
But you see, Drew, now here's a situation where Savoy has got to at least try to get out of bounds. And I think that's why people criticize them for poor clock management. You're on the sidelines there, catch it and get out of bounds. He wasted 2 seconds there. Everybody, coaches, quarterback, receivers, they have all got to be aware of exactly how much time is left in these so-called 2-minute situations.
Well, they have their long field goal kicker already on the field now. Number 12 is Jason Leslie. Colorado has been a good 2-minute team over the years. Won a national championship in '90. Leslie does the kicking off. Jeremy Aldridge inside about 40 or 45 yards as a kicker, but Leslie will kick the long ones. And this year, he's 1 of 2 from long distance. He has a 52-yarder to his credit. He missed from 51. This one will be in the neighborhood of 47 yards.
Yeah, and again, it's a tough kick, but I like this 2-kicker system because why punish, number 1, the team if your normal field goal kicker can't kick field goals? And if you've got a guy in the program that can do it, like Leslie, hey, use him. I think this is good coaching by Colorado that they used the 2 field goal guys.
Now Kansas calls a timeout. They want to get themselves together. 14-6 our score. A reminder that on Tuesday on Fox Sports Net, don't miss a behind-the-scenes look inside the NFL on NFL Total Access, followed by Hardcore Football, featuring guests Eric Hill and Keyshawn Johnson. It's NFL coverage like no other network. That's NFL Total Access and Hardcore Football, Tuesday on Fox Sports Net. Check local listings for the time in your area. Jason Leslie. Now, I want to know who the first guy already was who said, you know what, I think it'll feel better if I kick it with my bare foot.
Well, he was nuts, whoever he was, because I've tried that a couple of times, and only a couple of times, because it does hurt. But apparently, the way you hit it on the side of your toe becomes calloused, and then you no longer feel it. But I want to know when it's about 0 degrees out here if you do feel it or not. I got to believe you do.
Well, then not only are you calloused, you're numb, so you don't feel anything.
Yeah, right. You get more leverage, though, because there's no spike on the bottom of your foot to catch him to the ground.
Good hold by Andy Mitchell. The kick is wide to the right. He had the distance, but it was wide right, and that will do it for the first half in Boulder. Colorado with a couple of touchdowns in the first half. They're trying to get to 500. They lead 14-6 over a pretty solid Kansas Jayhawk team that came in 4-2. Let's get it west to Kevin Frazier in the Fox Television Studios.
Thanks a lot, guys. Buffalo still look good despite the missed kick, and maybe next time they'll put a shoe on that foot. Anyway, still ahead, Solomon Wilcots is on deck, and we'll have highlights from across the country. We'll check out all the top games, including #1 Nebraska in a Big 12 battle with Texas Tech. Right now, it's halftime in Boulder. Colorado leads Kansas 14-6. Back with more College Football Saturday right after this.
What do you get when you fly Southwest Airlines? Fun fares.
Well, you've waited so long for a fare to get so nice and low now. You really should fly.
Light up the night. Southwest Airlines fun fares are so low. Want to see that again? Now you can fly just for the fun of it.
With us, 'cause we got a lot of things to do now. You really should fly. Fun, 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 flying Southwest on a fun fair today. Fun, flying on a fun fair today.
Turn it up, love to pump, slam dunk. In the net, Dr. Pepper taste to get. Blue Jean, fly machine, football hurdle, space shuttle, free to vote. Yeah. Now is the time. Now is the time. This is the place. Dr. Pepper. This is the taste. Dr. Pepper. Now is the time.
Why does she play field hockey? She knows there will be no shoe commercials, no trading cards, no limos. So why? Because she is an athlete. Just like a football player, just like a basketball player, just like a baseball player. GTE is proud to be the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big 12 because of her and the pure spirit of college athletics.
A crucial part of developing NHL Face-Off 98 was getting input from real NHL players like John LeClair.
Sweet job with the linear interpolation. Boy, you guys gotta be pushing what? 6,000 polys per frame here? That's outstanding. Wait right here, I'm gonna be right back, okay? Stay right here, I'll be back. Hey guys, who wants to see 6,000 polys per frame? It's unbelievable.
PlayStation.
They give us heroes, they give us hope, they let us laugh and cry, and fall in love. Movies touch us as few things can. Any technology that heightens the experience of watching movies at home makes life even more enjoyable.
DVD video from Philips Magnavox. Technology for the heart, the spirit, and the imagination.
Welcome back inside our College Football Saturday studio. Kevin Frazier, Solomon Wilcots along with you. And we'll get to all the highlights in just a second. But first, my man here, the former Buffalo, finally can smile at halftime. His Buffs are up on Kansas.
Yeah, that's right. And the guy who is playing well for Colorado right now is their quarterback, John Hessler. He had thrown 10 interceptions before coming into this game. And this Kansas defense has only given up one touchdown pass, I should say, all season long. And guess what? John Hessler has come in and thrown the touchdown pass right now. His team had the lead. And tell you what, if he had not played well, he was going to get the early hook in favor of Jason Weisminger.
Yeah, and so this guy's happy for once, finally, at halftime. Anyway, let's get to the rest of the nation. Let's start the SEC. And coming off a loss to LSU, Steve Spurrier suspends Doug Johnson at quarterback and replaces him with true freshman Jesse Palmer. Didn't matter, Solomon. They didn't need either one of them.
Well, that's right. Jaquan Jacquez Green, he would throw, catch, and run for touchdowns today. This one, he would take it to the house. And you know what? Noah Brandeis knows who to get the ball to. Jacquez Green, once again, 17-10. The Gators would go on top. Then Green would take it in himself on the reverse. From 4 yards out, Florida would get the win 24-10 over Auburn. Much needed win coming back from last week's loss to LSU.
Sure, and now Florida tied with Tennessee and Georgia atop the SEC East. And what's going on with Tennessee? Well, they're playing right now 21-6. They lead Alabama, but you know, 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have been decided by 7 points or less. So don't worry, it ain't over. Meanwhile, Ole Miss at LSU, and LSU up 21-14 at the half, third quarter. John Avery cutting it up like a DJ. 5-yard touchdown, 21-20. LSU still third quarter. Stuart Patridge playing on a sprained ankle, didn't affect him there. He hits Alishma Alexander, power football. He's in the house. 2-point conversion failed. 26-21 Ole Miss on top in the fourth, Solomon.
Patrick is very effective selling the pump fake. He would find Grant Hurd 60 yards down the sideline for the score. 343 yards on the air on LSU today as they would get the 36-21 win.
Coach Tommy Tuberville called it the biggest win since he's been at Mississippi for Ole Miss. They're tied for second in the West now in the SEC. But, Simon, I want to ask you, big win for Ole Miss, they play well, or a bigger letdown for LSU?
Well, actually, I think it's a little bit of both. Let's remember, Ole Miss took Auburn and Tennessee well into the fourth quarter, and their losses to those two teams, I think LSU really had a big-time letdown. They came out flat after an emotional win last week over Florida.
All right, let's move to the Big Ten now. Penn State sitting at number 2, expecting a walkover against Minnesota in Happy Valley today, but not so quick, Joe Pa. Adam Bailey from 50 yards out, and that's a money ball, baby. That was one of 2 50-yarders for the kid on the day. 12-3 Minnesota fourth quarter. Penn State battles back, Solomon.
What I like about Penn State, they don't try to get cute. They just smash mouth right up the middle. 6-yard touchdown run by Curtis East.
15-10 Gophers late in the fourth. They try to just run the clock out. They lose the ball, and Glenn Mason can't believe it because next play, more Penn State.
That's right, more blue-collar football. Curtis East is 10 yards out. Joe Pa keeps things simple. You just win football games.
Well, he escapes by the hair on his chinny chin. 16-15 the final score, and that one Penn State gets the week off next week. Iowa at number 6 Michigan. Hayden Fry fired up, but Tavian Banks getting busy. Blonde ambition, Solomon.
53 yards for the touchdown. He has the speed. This is something you don't see happening to this Michigan defense, one of the best in the country.
Hawkeyes were up 21-7 at the half, third quarter. Michigan comes back. Anthony Thomas breaks loose 58 yards before he's knocked out of bounds at the 4. Michigan punched it in moments later. 21-21 late in the fourth. 24-21 Iowa. Brian Greasy, his favorite target. Jeremy Tooman for the touchdown. 7 catches, 85 yards for Tooman. 28-24 the final score as Michigan knocks off Iowa. Ohio State, easy money over Indiana today, 31-0. Number 13 rolls. Number 11, Michigan State, not so easy for them. They lose to Northwestern 19-17. And another big upset, Purdue walks all over Wisconsin 45-20. Hey, let's not forget, Purdue unbeaten in the Big Ten. Did you forget about the Boilermakers? If you did, they're still in the mix. More highlights ahead, plus Solomon pulls out the telestrator.
That's right. We'll check out Northwestern's defense as it shut down Michigan State's running game. It's all on the chalkboard when we come back.
Bridgestone is about to change the way you feel about driving on ice. We're at an ice rink to show you a breakthrough in tire technology, the Blizzak Ice Tire. The first winter tire with Bridgestone's patented multi-salt compound designed to fight through snow and stick to ice. In fact, at only 30 miles per hour, a set of Blizzak stop 35 feet shorter than a set of popular all-season radials. Blizzak from Bridgestone. If you're not using them, what's stopping you?
Available at these fine Bridgestone retailers.
Just announced from Ford Motor Company, Ford Motor Credit, and your Rocky Mountain Ford dealer. $1,500 cashback or 2.9 financing on a new Ford Ranger. You heard it right. $1,500 cashback or low 2.9 financing on any 97 Ranger. It's never been easier to buy a tough Ford truck. So get into a new Ranger, America's best-selling compact pickup, and get $1,500 cashback or 2.9 financing. Now is the time. These are the deals, and your Rocky Mountain Ford dealer is the place.
My son Milo is having a really hard day. The bad guys are running amok. It's up to him to save the universe. Personally, I got it easy. We got Primestar satellite TV, and I didn't have to leave my corner of the planet to buy anything. I bet with 160 channels, we'll find something to watch with a superhero in it. Right, Milo?
My name's not Milo. I'm Captain Xylo from the planet Exatron.
Get Primestar installed for just $99. It's as easy as 1-800-PRIMESTAR.
Bodies at rest tend to stay at rest. Bodies at motion tend to get thirsty. Now pay attention. Get thirsty, get Gatorade. Get Gatorade, get Gator Points. Get Gator Points, get Big 12 gear. When you get Big 12 gear, you tend to get noticed by members of the opposite sex. The kind that wouldn't otherwise spit in your direction. I've seen it, it happens. So, get Gatorade, get Gator Points, get Big 12 gear.
The luxurious Lexus ES300. All the security and comfort you're looking for at a price that most only dream of. At Stevenson Lexus and Cooney Lexus today.
It is halftime in Boulder. Buffs lead the Jayhawks 14-6. But right now, we have more highlights for you. Number 21, Georgia Tech taking on number 3, Florida State. There's the man, Daddy, Bobby Bowden. And the end of the first quarter, no score. Thad Busby hits Damian Harrell for 18-yard TD. FSU up 7-0. More Busby, Solomon.
Yeah, Busby would find E.G. Green. Look at the moves right here. He's even and leaving 66 yards for the touchdown. Speed kills. We says it every week. Busby, 399 yards passing on the day. They would get the 38-0 shutout.
USC and Notre Dame, John Robinson, he knows he's on the hot seat. Tied at 7, Tony Driver punches it in from 2 yards out. Irish up 14-7, but SC comes right back and answers in the second quarter, Solomon.
Kevin John Fox hits R.J. Sowers in the end zone. That would tie the game at 14 apiece. Johnny Robinson feeling a little bit better, but not totally.
Tied at 17 in the fourth quarter. Tip drill. Mark Cousineau comes up with the ball. He returns it to the Notre Dame 29-yard line before he's pulled down. And that sets up this. Adam Abrams from 37 yards out. He spanks it on through. John Robinson, exhale, my man. Trojans beat the Irish 20-17. Meanwhile, number 1, Nebraska, they have the best offense in the land. They only got 446 yards today, but they roll over Texas Tech 29-0. Meanwhile, earlier, Solomon, we talked about the game between Michigan State and Northwestern. Northwestern with the big upset. Show me a little bit of what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Gary Barnett and Northwestern set out to stop Cedric Irvin and Michigan State's running attack. And that's exactly what they would do. The guard and tackle would block down here, and the linebacker, Kevin Buck, would come through the C gap. He would stop Cedric Irvin for a loss in the backfield. This is something that Gary Barnett wanted his defense to be very aggressive in attacking Michigan State's running game. They would hold Cedric Irvin to only 85 yards rushing on the day. They would do a very good job. But here, Michigan State, they would do a good job of really getting some running room right here for Cedric Irvin. And look at the blocking up front. There is a hole, but freeze it right here. You can see this is a linebacker, Barry Garner. He would come through, and he would strip the ball. This is a major opportunity for Michigan State to really make some noise. They're trailing at this point in the game, but look at the fumble. They can't even recover it, and that would cost them big time. Northwestern would hold on to get the win, and now things are really wide open for a lot of teams right now in the Big Ten.
Well, you look at Michigan and Penn State. They're both unbeaten. We expect that. But how about Purdue? If they beat Toledo, they're unbeaten also. Purdue, the surprise in the Big Ten. Hey, we've got more scores for you from across the country. You are watching College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net.
Bad news, love. They're splitting us up for this mission.
How tragic.
Don't worry, though. Got you the new Subaru Forester.
A sport utility.
Not just any sport utility. Observe. A lower rear end that's easy to load, easy to get into as well, all with a smooth car-like ride.
Of course, I know it'll be rough without me around, but but I'm sure you'll get used to it.
The new Subaru Forester. Sport utility tough, car easy.
When the red robin comes bobbing along, there'll be no more sobbing when he starts dropping his old sweet song. Wake up, you sleepyhead. Get up, get out of bed. Cheer up, the sun is red. Live, love, laugh, and be happy.
Wake up and call 1-800-Missouri.
Get ready to score with Fox Sports Net's College Football Saturday. All season long on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
How do you get rid of ugly stains on ceiling tiles? You simply spray them away. Incredible? It's true with Instagon. Just spray it on and the stain is gone. No scrubbing, no rubbing. This textured ceiling is almost impossible, but Instagon gets rid of the problem in no time. Amazing! Don't scrub bathroom tiles. Even that grungy caulking comes sparkling clean with Instagon. What about stucco? Instagon gets into all those crevices and dissolves the grime away. It removes years of soot from fireplace walls and cleans PVC lawn furniture without any scrubbing. Ugly mildew? Gone in seconds. Instagon works safely, works instantly on all these surfaces, and it's yours for only $19.95. But call now and get 2 for $19.95. Order now.
To order Instagon, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-253-8665. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.95 shipping to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-253-8665.
This is a Fox Sports Rocky Mountain presentation.
Fox Sports News Primetime takes you one step beyond with in-depth interviews and analysis from around the nation. We are live on site covering your home teams with up-to-the-minute scores and highlights. That's why at Fox Sports News Primetime, only we can say we are there. Tonight at 10 in most areas, check local listings. Welcome back. It's halftime in Boulder, 14-6, Colorado on top, Solomon.
Yeah, and the reason why they're on top is because they have options. They're doing a good job of running the football, and this is what I mean. The option play is causing the defense for Kansas some problems. John Hessler out to Marlon Barnes. Marlon Barnes has been very effective running the ball every time he gets it, whether it's in this game or other games. I think they ought to give him the ball a little bit more. Artie Gigantino, he said it, and I think it's holding true.
All right, he's a happy Buff right now, and they're getting ready for the second half in Boulder. Up next, the A-Team, Drew Goodman, Artie Gigantino, and Greg Bell will be back with more from Folsom Field. You're watching College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net.
Being a fan is tough when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky if there's even a box score. Well, if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and strategies, transactions, trade rumors, injury reports, and the lowdown on the minors. Plus football, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call now 1-800-253-8665.
Hey you, it's a great deal.
And there's a great deal more at the University of Kansas.
Introducing the new 1998 Lexus LS 400. Redesigned with sleeker lines, richer amenities, and with a far more potent 290 horsepower engine, it's now the fastest luxury sedan in its class. Its value is taking off at Cooney Lexus and Stevenson Lexus.
Want to build or buy a new home? Come to First Bank for your mortgage loan.
You can't beat First Bank's competitive rates, choice of terms, and personal service. First Bank has mortgage loans for most any type of home, and for refinancing, too. First Bank is locally owned with over 70 locations. You can apply for your loan over the phone. You get an answer right away, and before you know it, it's moving day.
First Bank, the Colorado Bank for you.
The first half recap is brought to you locally by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You don't have to live life thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
Back in Boulder, Colorado, 14-6. The Buffaloes leading the Jayhawks at halftime. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the first half. Both quarterbacks played decently. John Hessler, under pressure, might lose his job. He was 10 of 14, and Colorado's running game emerged in the first half. Welcome back. Along with Artie Gigantino, I'm Drew Goodman. Colorado under 500 for the first time since 1987. And the first time out of the top 25 since the end of the '88 season, but they came out hungry tonight.
Yes, they've really displayed a hunger. And I think sometimes coaches are the ones that get depressed, but players are very resilient. And so far tonight, the Colorado players are being very resilient, Drew.
Absolutely, but Kansas won't go away. Let's go downstairs to Greg Bell, who's on the sidelines. Greg?
Guy, I had a chance to talk to both the coaches. Rick Neuheisel said he's happy with his team right now. They're making the catches, and that's something they haven't done in the past few weeks. Terry Allen, on the other hand, said the mistakes are hurting them, but he said he's going to stick with his running game. It's not exactly what he wanted. It's not putting the points on the board, but he said he's just got to make plays from that offense.
All right, Greg, thank you. Colorado will kick it to Kansas. The Jayhawks within 8. And Mitch Bowles is back in the middle. Actually, this is David Winbush from the goal line. Good return, 31 yards. And Kansas will be in pretty good shape. Down on the coverage team, Jason Leslie, the man who kicked it off. You got to love that, Artie.
Well, you got to love it, and that's what a kicker has got to be able to do if the ball breaks the front coverage line. In fact, when I was coaching the special teams at the Rams and at USC, coaching the defense, I always made the kicker, Drew, and the punter come in the defensive meetings. Not only because I wanted them to kick the ball good, but I also wanted them to make the tackle like that situation if it ever developed.
Zach Wegner, 4 of 7 in the first half to put it up on first down. Good delivery, but a little bit short, so it wasn't such a good delivery. Let's take a look at our First Plus Financial conference leaders. And we were talking about kick returns. Ben Kelly, he not only leads the conference, he leads the nation. Close to 40 yards return. There's Winbush at 25 yards
and
return.
what a turnaround for the Colorado kick return teams, because last year they were dead last in the nation in kickoff returns. This year they're first. And that guy is going to be a great kickoff return man someday. He's only a freshman right now.
Pretty good running back prospect also. Here's a little counter. Van slips through the hole. And he gets 5 yards. You were talking about Winbush being small. Eric Van's not much bigger.
No, but you know what he is, though? He's 5'9", and he's a sturdy 205. I mean, he looks like a middleweight boxer when you see him, you know, up close. He's a guy that's a tough guy. He was a baseball player, a center fielder, I think he was. And he's got good vision and excellent balance on that 210-pound, 205-pound frame.
Had to wait his turn behind June Henley the last few years.
And he missed all last year with the back injury.
3rd down and 5 for the Jayhawks. An option look from Wegner. Van cut down short of the first down. Damon Wheeler came flying up to make the tackle. Bit of a surprise from Kansas running the option.
Well, you know, I asked Terry Allen yesterday if they were going to run the option, and he said once in a while. And this is a full sprint that time by Eric Van, because when they run the option, they do not want Zach Wegner carrying the football. They want the ball pitched back to number 25 because he's the guy with the motor, Drew.
Absolutely. And Eric Van got enough. I thought initially he was stopped short.
You know, coming into the game, Kansas has had a lot of problems on 3rd down. Coming into the game tonight, they were 15 out of 75 for 20%, which is not very good. But tonight, they're doing a better job on 3rd down, and because of the play calling of that man right there, who also calls every play and coaches the quarterback.
Give it to the fullback, Greg Davis. He pounds ahead for a couple of yards. The mass of humanity. The last guy up will be 77. Well, not the last guy up, but close to the last guy up. Vili Mau, the 300-pound senior from Honolulu and St. Louis High School. They used to recruit all over the place. St. Louis High and Honolulu turns out a lot of players.
Yes, they do, and they're all tough guys that come over from the islands and play here. And that guy right there, Greg Davis, is having the time of his life tonight because they're giving him the ball. He's not just a blocker. They're actually giving him the ball.
Throw him a bone every once in a while. Play action, Wegner. And over the head is Sean McDermott. Tight end running an out cut, pretty good coverage, and it'll be 3rd down. Brandon Southward had the coverage. Now, you were talking about 3rd down conversions. It's 3rd down and 8 now for Kansas. 3rd down and any more than 4 yards. Coming into this game, Coach, they were 6 of 62.
Which is just flat awful. But you know what? The coaches here, Drew, I don't think you throw the ball on 2nd down there. Get a few more yards. And by awful, I mean the percentage was awful on that. Now you put them in a position they don't want to be in where they have to throw the ball again.
Pressure coming, blocked on a safety blitz. Wegner still on his feet. Not anymore. Rashidi Barnes reacted up and made the sack. There's A.J. Kristoff, the defensive coordinator for the Buffaloes.
Well, he is called Coach Blitz, and the reason he's called Coach Blitz is he likes to bring a bunch of guys, and you're going to see pressure coming off the left corner here of your screen, on the right corner of your screen with Ryan Black coming on a safety blitz. Now, what Wegner does, he does a nice job of escaping, but what Rashidi Barnes does, he does an excellent job of keeping after it.
Dean Royal. Nearly was blocked also. And it takes a Colorado bounce to the 34-yard line. And Colorado will be in pretty good shape. 14-6, Colorado leading Kansas. Let's take a look at the Fox Sports Net top 5 ranking in college football, a combination of several different polls. This is new to us, our Fox Sports Net poll. Nebraska shut out Texas Tech. Penn State by 1 over Minnesota today.
Color these guys right there, very, very lucky. And color these guys, to me, the best football team in the country.
1st and 10 for Colorado. And players jumping on both sides of the ball. We'll see which way it goes. It's been a busy night
for the officials.
For the officials tonight, and particularly that man, Randy Crystal.
Big old Tug McGraw, the nose guard, number 70. He pointed at Colorado. Let's see if he's right.
Dead ball. Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty, and it remains 1st down.
Not this time. Well, we're checking all sorts of polls. Colorado was in the AP top 25 for 143 consecutive weeks. Since the end of the 1988 season, they dropped out for the first time last week. So now it's just Nebraska with that streak. Herschel Troutman nowhere to go. Brett McGraw, the guy known as Tug, the guy you alluded to a moment ago, he got penetration and blew up that play.
Yeah, him along with Ron Warner. And I'll tell you what stops the zone play, which is what Colorado is trying to run there, is penetration. And I'll tell you, this guy is a very interesting guy. In fact, if I were making an all-interesting character team, he would be one of the guys on it. He's a rodeo guy. He wrestles steers. He rides a Harley Davidson. He's an unusual guy, I'll tell you that, and a very good football player.
And if I had an all-character team, you'd be my coach.
Well, thank you very much.
John Hessler. Now he's going to run it. Look at this. He picked up. Well, it should be enough for a 1st down. On the scramble, Patrick Brown made the tackle, and it is a 1st down. Now there's McGraw, known as Tug, 285-pound senior. His brother and sister compete on the professional rodeo circuit. That's what he's going to do.
And you know, his uncle Thumb McGraw, used to be a defensive tackle for the Lions.
And
Thumb and Thug.
He's in the Hall of Fame at Colorado State University. Good opening on first down for Herschel Troutman. Brown and Bratton, 2 linebackers, combined to bring him down, but a pickup of 7.
The offensive line from the University of Colorado is doing a nice job in here. You're going to see a big old hole open up, and Troutman gets the option of where to run. He starts up inside, but then he cuts to his left and finds the hole. That is called option running, where the back has the option of picking the hole that just happens to open up. Nice job that time by Herschel Troutman.
Quick slant, and the first catch of the night for Darren Chiaverini, and he paid for it. Tony Blevins made the tackle. Chiaverini had 6 catches down in Stillwater last week. He was the best of the wideouts.
Yeah, and he's been Mr. Big Catch the last couple of games, and that was just a 90, which is a 3-step drop and a quick slant. And the idea behind that, Drew, is to get the ball quickly to the receiver and hope that he can run for a great distance after the catch. Chiaverini's got outstanding hands.
1st and 10, Colorado. Toss sweep, Troutman. Cuts it back, and he ended up advancing the football for 6 initially. Artie, it didn't look like there was much there.
Oh, big old Steve Bratton shot the hole, number 54, and missed the tackle in the backfield. I like the way Kansas plays their linebackers. They're very aggressive. They take chances when they get up the field, but you better make the tackle on a guy like that, because if you miss him, he's going to pick his hole. And there's old Bratton, and again, we've talked about him. He's 6'1", 235, and there is a defensive coordinator from the old school right there, Ardell Wiegand. He coached for the Buffalo Bills, and he is one heck of a football coach.
Terry Allen took most of his staff from the University of Northern Iowa. Now, Colorado fans have seen this before. John Hessler looked up at the play clock. It was down to 1, and he burns a timeout with 9:18 to go on a 2nd and 4 play.
And I think sometimes coaches have too many words in their plays. Blue right, 21 toss, Z pattern on X. I mean, you know, hey, just call it toss right or toss left. Sometimes they get a little bit too wordy. By the time he calls it in the huddle, time elapses.
So, you know, if it's a paragraph, it might take too long. You need a sentence.
You need a sentence in there, or just a couple of words.
Okay, I got it. Well, coming up Tuesday, Arthur, on Fox Sports Net, don't miss a behind-the-scenes look inside the NFL on NFL Total Access, followed by Hardcore Football featuring guests Eric Hill and Keyshawn Johnson. It's NFL coverage like no other network. That's NFL Total Access and Hardcore Football Tuesday on Fox Sports Net. Check local listings for the times in your area. Rick Neuheisel says he doesn't read the paper and tries not to listen to the radio talk shows. I think once you get coaching for a while, you adopt that policy.
And Ardell Wiegand, the defensive coordinator who he's matching wits with today, has been in coaching a long time, 30 years.
Big loss on the play. Patrick Brown. He's been everywhere tonight. Those 2 outside backers, Brown and Warner.
And one of the things that they try to do in the 34 defense, as you look at Ardell Wiegand again, is take advantage of the linebackers. And when he came to Kansas, he said, we've got great linebackers. We're going to fit them into this 34 scheme. And that guy who plays on the weak side most of the time, Patrick Brown, is a huge part of it. And he's playing outstanding football this entire year.
3rd on their team in tackles. 3rd down and 12. Hessler, another screen set up. It wasn't there, and he threw it to Troutman. And good coverage on the play by Darius Lomax. 7 seniors start for Kansas defensively, but Lomax is a redshirt freshman, and the aforementioned Brown is a junior. We do have a flag down thrown in the secondary.
Well, it looks like one of the officials thought it was pass interference, obviously, on Kansas, but I don't know. It came from the secondary. We'll see what happens, but there's a lot of, you know, posturing going on right now from the players.
Holding on the defense. It was on an eligible receiver. It'll be a 10-yard penalty and an automatic First down.
Well, that's a huge break for Colorado, and one that Terry Allen will lament perhaps later on, because he would have forced Colorado to punt the football.
And it looked like what happened is that Lomax, as he was covering the receiver, went to grab him because he was running away from him. And so far this year, Kansas has done a great job of being efficient on defense. And I'll tell you, you look at the Kansas defense and you look at their offense, they have 207 years between them in coaching experience.
That's a whole bunch.
That is a whole bunch.
Marlon Barnes, big opening. First down the 18-yard line. Maurice Gaddy tripped them up.
Good job again of rotating running backs. And this guy is a powerful guy. And they're going to hand the ball off up in here on a zone play, and he's going to pound it up in here. Troutman's a little tired. Take him out of the game. Good cut that time by Barnes, and head up the field. He is an outstanding player, and I keep saying it, but they got to play this guy more and more tonight and more as the season goes on.
Got a good block from his left tackle, Andrew Welsh. Here's Barnes, and if he doesn't trip, he might have been able to take it to the house.
And that was a good old-fashioned cutback play. You start to one side, hope that the defense starts to flow, and then cut the thing back. And that's exactly what happened, though, Drew. You're so right. He ends up tripping over somebody's foot there. And you got to keep your feet going, but that's a tough one on Barnes.
Your favorite player, your favorite name in college football, Ryan Johanningmeyer, the right tackle. There's a lot to trip over. He's 6'7".
Yeah, he's 6'7", and he's got about 13 letters in his last name. Big.
Dwayne Charrington into the game. Hefner in motion. Second down and 9. Hessler toward the end zone. Man wide open. Touchdown at Stiggers. Marcus Stiggers.
Drew, what happened, that was a new formation that time by Colorado that they worked on the other day in practice.
First career touchdown. He beat Jason Harris.
And you're going to see Hefner come on the bottom of your screen across in motion right here. And all three of those guys are eligible because McCarty, the other tight end, stayed in. And what Stiggers does, he just runs like a skinny post, and he's wide open. But the problem was, Drew, there was confusion in the Kansas secondary because of the unbalanced line employed by Colorado.
Jeremy Aldridge makes it 21-6. The Colorado offense trying to get healthy back on their home field.
What do you get when you fly Southwest Airlines? Fun fares.
Well, you've waited so long for a fare to get so nice and low now. You really should fly.
Light up the night. Southwest Airlines fun fares are so low. Want to see that again? Now you can fly just for the fun of it.
With us, 'cause we got a lot of things to do now. You really should fly. Fun, flying Southwest on a fun fair today. Fun, flying on a fun fair today.
These days it seems like everything is the official something of somebody. What's next? The official soft drink? The team mascot? Look at this guy right here. And this one here. And this girlfriend and this kid. See, they're drinking Dr. Pepper just because it tastes great. It's kind of the official soft drink of everyone else. Like this guy with the bratwurst. He executes a one-handed switch. You can't coach this stuff. It's a thing of beauty. Hey, who's doing that? I do that. What's going on? Hey!
There are people who think water polo is not a game for a man. They're right. This is no game, and he is not just a man. It is a sport, and he is an athlete, just like a football player, just like a basketball player, just like a baseball player. GTE is proud to be the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big 12 because of him and the pure spirit of college athletics.
21-6 Colorado. Sometimes when you're the quarterback, you don't see the result of your throw. John Hessler never saw this completion to Marcus Stiggers.
Goes with the territory, and big old Dewey Houston III, 6'4", 280 pounds, comes down on him big time, and he gets an elbow right underneath that face mask into Hessler's jaw. But you know what? Hessler is Troy Aikman tough, according to Rick Neuheisel, and I guarantee you he'll be back in.
He's got Troy Aikman numbers on the board tonight. He's responded to some pressure. He did not know get it to the 20-yard line. Let's take another look at that touchdown strike from Hessler to Stiggers.
You're going to see Stiggers right up here on the top, and he runs what we call a skinny post, which is a short post that people use inside the 20-yard line. And Kansas starts off in the 3 deep, but the free safety bites on the guy inside of him, and as a result, Stiggers is wide open.
Artie, I got to ask you something. We have a shot here at Marcus Stiggers, and it's this gentleman who moved to his left a little bit. I have to get your expertise on what Marcus has on his face. Pickup of a few yards for Eric Van on first down. Kansas needs to respond, and we go west to Dr. Pepper game break and Kevin Frazier. Kevin?
Guys, a little ACC flavor for you. How about number 6 Carolina? Creating a little fun. It's the flea flicker. Oscar Davenport gets rocked. But it doesn't matter. He gets it off to Octavius Barnes, and despite the PI and the flag, Barnes picks up a little candy on it. They score 3 plays later and added a field goal. They're in control, 27.
Not just a basketball school, huh? That's Kevin. And Wegner sacked by Ryan Olson. A senior from Lakewood, Colorado. Wrapped him up.
The Big O, as they call him, and he's a guy that's played great this year, and he played great a year ago. 6'2", 270. And, you know, it's nice to see him come alive a little bit here in the middle of the year, because a lot of times those guys inside, Drew, get double teamed so much they don't get a lot of sacks. But that was a great pass rushing move.
There's Olsen. He's a 3'6'5" student in civil engineering. 3rd down and 13. This is going to be picked off. Washington, clear sailing, touchdown, Colorado. Third time in his career, Marcus Washington has been in the end zone.
He's a guy that is around the football a lot, and A.J. Kristoff, the defensive coordinator, likes to put him in positions where he can make big plays. And normally, he comes up with a big play. This guy, we've talked about him before, but I think he is the perfect corner because he is 6'3", he's 210 pounds, he can run, and he can be physical on today's big wide receivers.
Jeremy Aldridge makes it 28-6. So A.J. Kristoff's defense gets in the end zone. With 5:46 to play, 28-6 in the 3rd quarter. Zach Wegner frustrated.
One thing I love about college football is a freshly painted field.
You are a machine, a force to be reckoned with. To keep all pistons firing, you've got to feed the machine. And the fuel you need is right here in Men's Health. Get rock-hard abs now, 6 different ways, and no sit-ups. Discover superfoods for instant energy and fat burning. Eat what you want and still lose weight. Only Men's Health delivers the latest information that talks to real guys, like the ultimate 20-minute workout to sculpt a body that says power. Call for your free trial issue. Keep it and get a full year for $19.97. You'll also get 3 books free. 100 Ways to Burn Fat Faster, The Men's Health Guide to Intimacy, and Quick and Healthy Cooking for Men. When it comes to romance, Men's Health reveals what she really wants and shows you how to make your relationship intense and incredibly pleasurable. Subscribe now for just $19.97. Cancel anytime and keep the free books. You're a machine. Try Men's Health today. Be the machine.
You're watching the all-new Big 12 Conference on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
Late in the 3rd, Colorado has opened up a 22-point lead on Kansas. 5:46 to play. Drew Goodman, Artie Gigantino, Greg Bell. There's Marcus Washington. He scores a touchdown a year. He scored in the Cotton Bowl 2 years ago on an interception return. He scored on a fumble return against Missouri last year. And a 25-yard pick to the end zone tonight against Kansas.
And as you mentioned before, he coming into the game tonight, he had played every defensive snap except 2 this year.
David Winbush, no chance to return this, and we pay a visit to Greg Bell. Greg?
Guys, after that last scoring play, Rick Neuheisel came over to the bench where Hessler was holding his wrist and his elbow. He looked at Hessler, told him, get me one more score, one more series, and I'll get you out of there. That last touchdown catch, interception, might get him out a little bit sooner.
Well, on the sideline, Greg, Jeremy Weisinger and Adam Bledsoe were playing catch, and Rick Neuheisel wanted to get both of those young guys in there.
What was that they were just doing?
They were headbutting.
They were headbutting. Is that to get your quarterback warmed up or what?
Well, Cordell Stewart and Bill Cowher like to kiss on the sideline. Those 2 guys like to headbutt.
That's the Hessler hit. That's amazing.
Brandon Southward tackles Eric Van after a short gain. Kansas needs to respond here.
And, you know, speaking of hits, this is a tough guy, as we talked about. And Rick Neuheisel said he's like Troy Aikman in terms of toughness. And just being around him, Drew, he is a tough guy. But that is no reason to headbutt your head coach.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Not if you want to play on Saturday night. David Winbush is in the game. He gets the call. And he spins twice, but could not elude Brady McDonald. The redshirt freshman from Quinn, South Dakota. Kansas wanted to run the football. Colorado's so good when they hold the opposition beneath 100 yards. They've handed the ball already 21 times to Eric Van, but they're not getting a lot of yardage.
Dead ball.
No, they're not.
Personal foul on the defense. Be a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Listen to Randy Crystal. Sometimes you call a foul, and sometimes you call one and you're angry. Randy was a little upset with whatever happened.
He was a little mad that time, but you see, if you're doing a good job, like Colorado is doing, of containing the Kansas running attack, you can't give them chunks of yardage like that on ignorant fouls. And to me, a personal foul like that is not a physical foul. It's not an aggressive foul. It's what I always called an ignorant foul, Drew.
Okay. Colorado leading 28-6. Winbush again the carry. And he takes a look from Sutter. He's still going. Ball's on the ground. Colorado football if McDonald stayed in bounds. Or is it Loper? Colorado football, it's Loper, number 80. Ian Loper. He's another redshirt freshman defensive end. Now, part of the strategy tonight for Rick Neuheisel was to get some of his younger players more snaps.
And you know, and they're doing it, and they've done it a lot this year, but you're going to see a nice run here by Winbush. He turns, but then he gets hit as he's starting to get up the field, and the ball just gets jarred loose. And sometimes when you're a little guy at 5'7", 165, it's hard to hold on to the football when some big defensive lineman is trying to take it away from you.
Aaron Marshall knocked it out. John Hessler remains the quarterback. And Hessler again with the hard count. He must be watching that other number 7 that plays around here.
Yeah, a guy who's going to play against the Raiders sometime tomorrow by the name of John Elway, who's made a name in his own right, I think.
And he's very good at drawing defenses offside.
Dead ball. Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty and remains first down.
The numbers tonight for John Hessler have been outstanding. His best game by far, Artie.
Great touch on this fade. It was a big touchdown at the time, but later on, he just gets whacked. But a good quarterback is going to stand up and come back and take the next snap.
Marlon Barnes runs right into Jason Thorin. He closed the hole in a hurry. Thorin, a senior linebacker from Lawrence.
Yeah, he's a guy that's a very productive player. In 1995, he was the leading tackler on this team. Coming into tonight, he had 34 tackles. He missed the game this year with the knee injury, but he's shown no indications of that knee bothering him tonight, Drew. He's another tough guy that plays inside linebacker for this 3-4 defense.
He's closing in on 300 career tackles.
Boy, that's a bunch, isn't it?
That'll give you sore shoulders in addition to knees. 2nd down and 4. Hessler has it away, complete to Tennyson McCarty. He's to the 27-yard line. He juggled it and was brought down by Lamar Sharp.
Wonderful concentration that time because he's bobbling the football. He gets hit, but yet he maintains his focus on the football and brings it in. I tell you, he is a true warrior, that guy. He runs a little delay pattern here across the middle, has a hard time finding the ball, bobbles it a little bit, and then gets positive yardage.
Sixth catch of the year for McCarty. Brother Eric was a good linebacker at Colorado a few years back. Here's Trotman for a couple of yards. Time now for our GTE Academic Performers of the Night. With 3:30 and moving in the third quarter, Steve Bratton, a junior linebacker, 3-0 in business for Kansas, and Tennyson McCarty, a 3.5 in kinesiology. I believe that's what you studied.
I studied kinesiology, and that is the study of the muscle system in your body. I'll bet you didn't know that.
No, actually, I did know that. I imagine you were a 3.5 student.
No, I was a 4.0 student in kinesiology, period. I never got anything but straight A's in kinesiology.
Uh-huh. If you add everything up over 4 years, you got the 4.0. I like that. Hessler, complete to Savoy. Wrapped up immediately by Jamie Harris. Now, Jamie is not related to Jason, two Harrises on the corners, but they're from different parts of the country.
Well, it's obvious tonight now Colorado wants to get Savoy back into the mix because, as we had said, a couple of the last few games, people have taken him out of the mix. And right now, he feels good about himself because he's catching footballs and he's coming back into play and playing like the guy that everybody expected to play at the beginning of the year.
Good point. This has been the best offensive game for Colorado this year in terms of consistent productivity. Option look to the short side of the field. Hessler could go. Touchdown. Well, Hessler got a good block from the 3.5 student, Artie.
Well, he not only can do well in the classroom, but he can also block pretty well. And that's a great job of finding the right angle to come down on and making the block on big Deion Johnson, who weighs close to 300 pounds. So his kinesiology background really helped him there get a good block.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It had to be the kinesiology 101.
But you know, how many times this year now have we seen Colorado run the option down inside the 20 and run it successfully?
They did last week against Oklahoma State for a score. Jeremy Aldrich, point number 35, and Colorado starting to run away from the Kansas Jayhawks. 2:28 to go in the third.
Play it back, rock, rap, fast food, cool, dude. And one home run, Dr. Pepper, taste the fun. Movie star, classic car, talk show, Bobby and Ken will twist again. Instant replay. Now is the time. Now is the time. This is the place. Dr. Pepper. This is the taste. Dr. Pepper. Now is the time.
Why does she play field hockey? She knows there will be no shoe commercials, no trading cards, no limos. So why? Because she is an athlete. Just like a football player, just like a basketball player, just like a baseball player. GTE is proud to be the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big 12 because of her and the pure spirit of college athletics.
You've got to learn from the veterans.
Yeah, guys like Brian Still.
But I think he's taking Coach Hanzik's hustle thing a little too far.
Hustle, hustle. Come on, let me see.
I mean, he's really crazy.
Yeah, man, check him out.
Now, gotta work, run.
He's at the cleanest house on the team.
Let's go, run, sprint.
I feel sorry for his wife, though.
Game Superstar packages start at $231. Call 893-6700.
35-6 Colorado. That guy Gary in Kansas must be a lucky guy, Artie.
He's a lucky guy, a real good-looking one. I'll tell you that, one of the two.
Colorado led at halftime. halftime, 14-6, but 3 touchdowns here in the third quarter. 2 on offense, 1 on defense. And John Hessler may be done for the evening.
You know, it's interesting. Kansas, their problems on road games, in road games, continues here tonight. You know, they have a chance of getting blown out here tonight, Drew.
They still have not scored a touchdown offensively on the road this year. Here's Winbush, a yard deep. He's brought down at the 21-yard line. Let's take a look at our Burger King game summary. Kansas, their lone points, a couple of field goals from Joe Garcia. Colorado has cut down Eric Vann, and a very good night for John Hessler. By far his best night throwing the football in 1997.
He's confident. I think they simplified what they asked him to do. I think maybe having a little pressure on him that they might go to one of the other quarterbacks might have motivated him a little bit more this week.
Give it to the up back, and a solid gain on first down for 32. Greg Davis, check it, it's 31. Dustin Curry, his first carry of the night. Clifton Peters made the tackle.
It's a transfer. He played 2 seasons at Emporia State in Kansas. He's not as big as Davis, but he's quicker. He weighs 210 pounds, and he was a tailback in high school.
To the near side. To the top. Mitch Bowles should have enough for a first down, or very close. And let's go to the Fox Television Center and Dr. Pepper game break with Kevin Frazier. Kevin.
Drew, monster day for Ryan Leaf in Washington State. The kid threw for 5 touchdowns, this one to Kevin McKenzie. Washington State improves to 4-0 in the Pac-10. And, you know, if you're a Heisman voter, you better expect to get a lot of Leafs in the mail. 63-37 the final score. Let's go back to Boulder, Drew.
I played against Leaf. He's a good football player. And, Drew, you should see him. He's huge. He's 6'6".
He's having a great year, and the Cougars are having a great year.
You know, the coach up there, Mike Price, I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he has done with that Washington State program. They have really produced some outstanding quarterbacks.
Well, you were the defensive coordinator at California for a few years. I don't know if there's a happy defensive coordinator up at Cal tonight.
No, there probably isn't, but when I was there, we really did an average job against Washington State. I didn't want to say great, average.
Second down and 9. Wagner on the boot. And it's intercepted. Ben Kelly. He can scoot if he can get to the corner. Oh, he's making everybody in a white jersey chase him. And he finally takes a shot from Bowles. Ben Kelly is listed at 175 pounds. I don't believe it.
I don't either. He looks, I'm not sure, but you know, what Kansas did not want to do tonight was throw the football in these situations. And what's happening there, Andy Kristoff is yelling at him because he wants him to stay on the sidelines. But you're going to see Zach Wagner come out on the corner here, throw the ball, and then just really pay the price. Ian Loper just leveled him, but he put the ball up for grabs. And when Kelly, what a defensive coach wants a guy to do, he wants him to run up the near sidelines, not come all the way across the field. And that's exactly what A.J. Kristoff was telling him.
Jeremy Weisinger, the sophomore from Uvalde, Texas, in the game at quarterback, and he hands to Herschel Troutman. Weisinger is a guy a year ago who ran, Artie, a 4.2740, which was the fastest mark on the team. You know what? I've had some cars that didn't go that fast.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I mean, I think he's very fast. He's a 4.3 or 4.4, but in the paper here, they said it was a 4.2 or whatever, 4.2 plus. He's fast for a quarterback. He's a guy that could play safety. He's a big, good-looking athlete. Reminds me a little of Scott Frost.
And he's going to get his opportunity here with Colorado leading 35-6. 3 quarters done at Folsom Field in Boulder. A happy sellout crowd right now.
Yeah, I'll be leaving on the 18th, sometime in the morning, back on the 21st. And what's the last flight out? Oh, what's the one before that? Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and book that one.
You know, Dad, this isn't brain surgery.
Now Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to plan and purchase your flight online. It's so easy, even a grown-up can do it.
Now all you need is the confirmation number. Can I go play now?
You are now free to move about the country.
Weekends are for relaxing and spending time with family and friends. But for most homeowners, it's the only time to straighten out personal finances. That's why First Plus is open on the weekends, every weekend. We're available when you're at home thinking about consolidating bills or financing home improvements. Just call 1-800-510-PLUS. You can apply today right over the phone, and there's no application fees. First Plus takes care of business 7 days a week, just like you do. At First Plus, we're working first for you. Call 1-800-510-PLUS.
Baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 till 5, and then he takes another home again to find me waiting for him. My baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 till 5, and then he takes another home again to find me waiting.
There are people who think water polo is not a game for a man. They're right. This is no game, and he is not just a man. It is a sport, and he is an athlete, just like a football player, just like a basketball player, just like a baseball player. GTE is proud to be the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big 12 because of him and the pure spirit of college athletics.
Big third quarter for Colorado. They lead 35-6, and my partner Artie Gigantino is drawing again. Artie.
Well, here's what happens on the option down in the red zone for the University of Colorado. They pull a tackle, and he gets around the corner. The tight end blocks down. Hessler starts on the option. If this linebacker goes down inside, and this linebacker gets caught up in the traffic, he keeps it and runs it in. That time, Kansas took the pitch away.
Kinesiology major and obviously an art minor. Very nice, Arthur. John Hessler is done for the evening. He's got a smile on his face, so I don't think that elbow injury, the ice pack, is anything to be concerned about. Weisinger to put it up for the first time. Got it complete. Good throw to Darren Cheverini. Out of bounds at the 19-yard line, and you just drew up the option play from Hessler. Let's take a look at that play again.
And if you have a quarterback like Hessler, who's a big guy who can make somebody miss, that's exactly what's going to happen. And you see a nice job there by Hangenmeyer of getting on to Patrick Brown and riding him out of the play. That was all on the quarterback that time, John Hessler.
21 yards rushing and a marvelous day throwing the football against a good defense. They had given up only one passing touchdown coming in. What a lick there. Lamar Sharp knocks down Herschel Troutman. That play ended in a hurry. Just underway in the fourth quarter with Artie Gigantino and Greg Bell. I'm Drew Goodman, and we're thrilled you're along tonight on Fox Sports Net. Colorado leading Kansas 35-6.
I thought that was a good, smart call the play before of Carl Durrell calling a pass for Jeremy Weisinger.
2nd down and 8. The total yards in the third quarter, a quarter obviously dominated by Colorado. Jeremy Weisinger is a kid that broke and dislocated his ankle in a weight room accident before the first game of the year, and he came back 3 weeks early. He's in trouble here, and he lost the football. Adam Reed initially fell on it, but Patrick Brown has it now. Kansas football. Well, this play had no chance. Houston made the sack, or maybe picked up their football, but Jeremy Weisinger was in a world of hurt from the get-go.
Okay, what happens on this? Watch big old Dewey Houston come up in here. It's a bootleg play. Now, I think Weisinger's a little bit slow, but big old Dewey runs into him, and he knocks the ball out. And Patrick Brown, doing a nice job of hustling, ends up falling on it. But Dewey Houston the third makes a nice play.
Wegner. That's a good throw to the 48-yard line. Eric Patterson Right out of his break, the football was 5 feet in front of him. This kid can deliver the ball if you give him time.
Right, they can't win if they turn the ball over, though, Drew. What they've got to do, and what Coach Allen did not want to have happen here tonight, is turn the football over. And when Colorado got out ahead by so much, it forces you to throw the ball a little bit more, which is playing right into the University of Colorado, their defensive hands, because they want to blitz you.
Fullback, this is Davis. Knocking people over. Rashidi Barnes finally knocked him off his feet with help from Clifton Peters. You know, Greg Davis is fired up to play in his home state. 13:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Colorado leading by 29. And if you're a Colorado fan, more than anything, they need a win of convincing fashion or in convincing fashion.
No question. And next week they go to Austin to play the University of Texas, and you want to go down there with a real positive attitude and have a great week of practice this week. And there's nothing like a win that'll do that for you.
Wegner wants a bunch, and a flag comes in. Davis and Termaine Fulton were battling the whole way down the field, and Davis might get ticketed.
Well, Fulton stepped out of bounds. That's number one. And that was a play-action
pass interference, 15-yard penalty.
From the previous spot, huh? Okay, defensive pass interference from the previous spot. Defensive pass interference, it'll be a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Well, they're letting us eavesdrop. Now watch, now he turned his microphone off.
Pass interference on the defense. It'll be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Even the officials make mistakes sometimes.
It's a pretty solid crew. So Kansas gets the 15-yard penalty. There's Terry Allen. We talked to Terry Allen at great length yesterday, and he's a guy that threw the ball all over the place at the University of Northern Iowa. He says, you know what, in a couple of years, when I can get my system fully implemented, we're going to look exactly like Colorado offensively and Rick Neuheisel, two former quarterbacks.
Right, and they both coach the quarterbacks, and they both call the plays. So they are both frustrated that their offenses aren't doing better. But the future is bright for both of them.
This play goes nowhere. Julius Bruce never had a chance. Aaron Marshall. And Colorado claiming they have the football. They do, but I think they're going to give it back to Kansas. Aaron Marshall, who has really come on at a defensive tackle. They rotate Marshall in there with Mau and Olsen. And the coaching staff, A.J. Kristoff in particular, says Marshall is really playing well. He's a junior from Chicago.
Yeah, and this is a good defense coming back next year for Colorado. They've got to fill the vacancy, though, with a couple of young linebackers to play alongside of Ty Gregorak. But they have a good nucleus, and that guy is one of them right there of an outstanding defense for the future here.
Kid who used to live in Sierra Leone in West Africa. Just thought you wanted to know that. Wegner over the head of Patterson. And it'll be 3rd down and 15 for Kansas, in desperate need of a touchdown. Well, Tuesday on Fox Sports Net, don't miss a behind-the-scenes look inside the NFL on NFL Total Access, followed by the best of hardcore football with featured guest Tony Dorsett. It's NFL coverage like no other network. That's NFL Total Access and the best of hardcore football Tuesday on Fox Sports Net. Check local listings for times in your area. 3rd down and 14 officially here. And they go draw play and flags come in. Julius Bruce got to the 35-yard line. But I don't know if this one's going to count.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty, and it remains 3rd down.
You know, that's what happens sometimes, Drew, when you rotate offensive linemen. You get some different people in the game that haven't played as much, which is what Kansas is doing right now. So they just got to settle down, and they've got to get something positive out of this 4th quarter. Let these guys up front try to block Colorado, run the ball a little bit more, give Zach Wegner a chance to throw the ball off of play action, but not too much drop back, because Colorado will try to just go sack him.
Wegner 1 of 6 in the second half for just 14 yards. They come with a blitz. Wegner in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. You talked about it.
That's what I was talking about. You can't do that to him.
That's John Sanders. Backup free safety, a redshirt freshman from Phoenix.
Coach Blitz on the sideline loves these situations because if you're going to throw against that man who's one of the top assistant football coaches in the country, in my view, on the defensive side of the football, he is going to come after you and blitz you. And that guy right there, number 14, had no chance. And Terry Allen saying, hey, throw off a hot receiver, but he didn't have a chance.
Dean Royal gets it away toward Herschel Troutman, and it takes a Kansas bounce. Out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. The flag came in. We'll check it out. 35-6, Colorado leading. You wonder if they ran into Royal.
And outside the classroom, mentoring neighborhood school children, taking the first steps toward the global scientific community, meeting the needs of an evolving workplace. Whether you're scaling a mountain by degrees or pursuing your own degree, meet your challenge at the University of Colorado, a total learning environment.
Fasten your seatbelts. This music's gonna rock you. Come on, crank it up for this new 33-song collection of hard rockin' hits. Rock me. We all need a little shelter. Love hurts. 33 great rock groups in one awesome collection. Time for me to fly. Crank It Up is not sold in stores, so order now. Don't tell you love me. Don't tell you love me.
Punt over, back to the 15, and all the way down to the 11-yard line. Troutman was wrapped up by Chad Colner. So that worked out pretty well for Kansas. A punt of 53 yards.
That was a big-time punt. You know, I did the Missouri game earlier in the year, Kansas against Missouri, and Drew, he had an 82-yard punt, which, you know, rolled a little bit, but it went 82 yards. The guy's got a leg. I just think that they line him up too close to the line of scrimmage. He's only like 12 yards from the snapper.
You know who has the all-time punt?
John Hadle.
John Hadle, the great quarterback. His number's retired. Adam Bledsoe is now in at quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman from Yakima, Washington, and yes, he is the younger brother of New England Patriot Drew Bledsoe. He hands it to Marlon Barnes. He gets about 4 yards.
You know what's interesting about Bledsoe? He's the biggest quarterback in the history of the University of Colorado, being, you know, he's at 6'4", he's 220. He's the biggest guy they've ever had play quarterback here.
Adam Bledsoe is your more traditional drop-back quarterback.
Yeah, and he did a good job this year of going in at the end of the Michigan game, and he was 4 for 8. And I saw that game, and I thought he did a nice job in a tough circumstance.
Hands it off to Sherrington. They'll have a first down to the 30-yard line. Might be the best ground game we've seen from Colorado this year. Darius Lomax made the tackle. Another thing about Bledsoe, Weisinger on the right, and John Hessler, who has permagrin tonight. He has the best arm by far, Bledsoe.
Well, he's a big guy, he's a strong guy, and that's what he does, and that's why Rick Neuheisel recruited him to come to Colorado. He wants to throw the ball at the University of Colorado and complement it with the running game, and this guy could be the future of throwing the football.
Hand it off to Barnes, and he moves the pile for about 4 or 5 yards. Another thing about Bledsoe, one of the interesting things, in high school in Yakima, he only threw the ball about 15 times a game.
I know, I wonder what those coaches were thinking, or they must have had some great running backs, or it was just too cold up there or something. But it just seems to me, you got a guy like this, don't you throw it 50 times a game?
Well, it seems that way to you and I.
But they won a lot of games, so who are we to make judgments?
You're right. First pass, and through the hands of Javon Green.
It was a good throw.
Was a good throw. He can step up and throw darts, according to Rick Neuheisel.
And they say he talks to his brother at least once a week, and I'm sure Drew gives him some great advice.
Well, Artie, you know a lot about quarterbacks. You had to stop him. Tell us about this delivery.
Well, here's a nice job of getting back. The only problem here, Drew, he's looking at the receiver he's going to throw to, which is what happens to young quarterbacks. He's got to look over the field a little bit more, but it was a good delivery, and he threw the ball on a rope.
Third down and 5. Marlon Barnes gets the first down. He is quick. And speaking of quick, our Greg Bell had that kind of speed at one time.
Well, guys, I think you might be seeing these insignias that Colorado's wearing right now. They're in memory of two great Colorado family members. One, Tyrone Tiger Buzzy, who was a player here who died of leukemia in January, and also of Ben Gregory, the outstanding running back coach who served here from 1991 to 96. Guys, they have dedicated this season to those two guys.
And the Pope on the jersey, the nickname of Ben Gregory, who was a terrific football player at the University of Nebraska and liked and loved by everybody, actually. Charrington picks up about 5 yards, and a very good coach.
And, you know, I think coming into this season, that's one of the things that might have hurt the Colorado running game, because Ben Gregory was in charge of the running game. He was Rick Neuheisel's confidant in terms of running the ball and developing an offensive run scheme. And when he died this past spring of a heart attack, which was obviously very tragic, I think that hurt the running game at the University of Colorado also, because he was a guy you just couldn't replace.
Bledsoe has second down and 5. Marlon Barnes behind him. 2 tight end set. Long out cut. Good catch by Cheverini. Well, you learned about his arm strength on that throw. That was a rope for 40 yards.
Major league arm, major league catch that time by Cheverini. But you gotta like the poise right now being displayed by this young freshman. And watch Cheverini go up and catch the ball with his hands at its highest point. That's perfect timing by Darren Cheverini, who's come up with some big plays these last couple of weeks for this Colorado passing attack. And he's happy about it. And he ought to be.
Cheverini's second catch of the night. Charrington the call. And a flag as Brett McGraw makes the tackle, and it was thrown right at the back of Melvin Thomas, the 310-pound right guard for Colorado.
And guess what? It's holding on Melvin.
And down on the field is Dewey Houston III. He's played well all year for Kansas.
He's a big old guy like we talked about, 6'4", 280 pounds, and he just loves to play football.
Now, Kansas has been on the field, Coach, for a lot of snaps tonight.
Right, and Colorado coming into the game had been averaging 27 minutes a game in possession on offense, and obviously their defense was on the field 33 minutes. They tried to change that tonight, and they've been successful. But that was a goal of the Colorado offensive staff coming into tonight's game, to run and pass time possession.
If they win time of possession tonight, it'll be the first time in 97 they've done that.
I know, but part of it's because they have been unable to establish a rhythm in the running game.
Houston running off the field. Love to see that. Let's try to figure out how he got hurt.
Okay, he's right here in front of number 90. That's Dewey Houston III. He starts up the field on an inside move. He comes, he sees, but look at the back. Oh, his back right ankle gets clipped by somebody, and that's tough. And that's one of the hazards, Drew, of being a defensive lineman. Sometimes those offensive linemen go to cut you off, and they end up clipping you on your Achilles or behind your calf, behind your knee area, and that's tough because you're susceptible to injury when that happens.
Yeah, that hurt just watching it. First and 25 for Bledsoe and Colorado. Barnes. He might get the 25 back right here. Not quite. But he got plenty on first down. Jamie Harris ran him out. It was a pickup of 20.
Well, they're going to have a running back controversy here at Colorado pretty soon between Troutman and Marlon Barnes. And I think, again, one of the problems they've had in the running game prior to tonight, they didn't have the big back. And this guy is the biggest, fastest back that they have, and they've got to continue to use him. He missed all of last year because of a back injury. He's a mature guy. He has a daughter, Caitlin, who he loves very much, but he also loves to carry the football.
Well, he's going to watch Dwayne Sherrington carry it. Not much doing there. It'll set up third down. Here's what transpired in the Big 12 today. Oklahoma barely beats Baylor 24-23.
Big one for them.
Yep, Nebraska rolls on 6-0. They shut out the Red Raiders. Missouri, a mild upset, 37-29 over the Longhorns. They continue to struggle.
Big win, though, for Larry Smith, because he wants to go to a bowl game this year, and he does a great job of coaching up there, but that was a huge win.
And speaking of huge wins, Kansas State beating up Texas A&M.
That must have been some game, but that quarterback right now at Kansas State, Michael Bishop, is really something. He drops back, and if he doesn't throw the ball on the first 2 steps, he just takes off and runs. He is really one of the premier athletes in the Big 12.
Yeah, he's a joy to watch. Darius Lomax is the player down for the Jayhawks, a redshirt freshman from Kansas City, Kansas. High school All-American a couple of years ago. 35-6, 7:50 go in the fourth quarter. We step aside for a moment.
Hi, I'm John Binkner, president of the University of Colorado. At CU, learning takes place inside the mind and outside the classroom, mentoring neighborhood school children, taking the first steps toward the global scientific community, meeting the needs of an evolving workplace. Whether you're scaling a mountain by degrees or pursuing your own degree, meet your challenge at the University of Colorado, a total learning environment.
You've got to hurry if you want to earn free skiing at Colorado's best resorts. November 21st is the last day to get your Colorado card. Adults ski for as low as $22, kids ski for as low as $12. Plus get direct-to-lift access, but only until November 21st. Then it's all over.
Well, if I had money, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two. I'm crazy about a Ford truck. Lord, I'm crazy about a Ford truck. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Ford truck and cruise it up and down the road.
For the last 50 years, there's only been one truck built Ford tough.
Colorado in control. Lomax walked off very slowly. Good news, however, for Kansas. Dewey Houston III is back on the field. He was the guy that was helped off a couple of plays ago. 3rd and 5 for Colorado with 7:50 to play in the fourth quarter. Adam Bledsoe, the 3rd quarterback used tonight by Rick Neuheisel. Time breaking down, and he delivers it, and it was dropped by number 85 for Colorado, and I'll tell you that that is James Averill, the 4th team tight end.
Well, everybody's getting a chance to play here tonight, but you gotta like the poise displayed that time by Bledsoe of staying in the pocket and finding the primary receiver that he was supposed to throw to. And you know what's happened a little bit here, Drew, to Kansas? They're a little bit tired because they've been on the field so long, and that's why a couple of their players are getting hurt. When you're tired, you don't move your feet. And if you don't move your feet in football, you're susceptible to injury.
Nick Peach is going to punt this one for Colorado. First time we've seen him tonight. He's alternating with Andy Mitchell. And he hits this one very well. Off in corner down. Executed perfectly. So even the punt game working tonight.
Yeah, it looks a little bit better now. They haven't used it very much, but that's a positive for the punt game.
Timeout on the field. Colorado 35, Kansas 6.
The luxurious Lexus ES300. All the security and comfort you're looking for at a price that most only dream of.
At Cooney Lexus and Stevenson Lexus today.
Now you can turn on your body's fat-burning power and lose weight without stimulants, diets, or heavy exercise, and it's as easy as flipping a switch.
Conquer fat automatically while you eat this delicious dessert, even while you sleep.
This amazing new book from the publisher of Prevention Magazine will show you how to turn on your body's fat-burning switches so you burn fat calories automatically.
Without strenuous exercising, dieting, or willpower.
Low-Fat Living will show you the latest scientific ways to send your body the signal to stop making fat and start burning it instead. And it's as easy as flipping a switch.
You'll discover over 100 delicious recipes guaranteed to help you shed fat.
Call now to examine Low-Fat Living free for 10 days. Return the book and owe nothing if not delighted. Or keep the book for just 4 installments of $6.99.
Call now and receive a free copy of 150 Secrets to Erase the Signs of Aging. See how easy it is to take years off your appearance.
Take a free look at Low-Fat Living.
You will conquer fat automatically.
Guaranteed.
The Avs face off with the Canucks Sunday at 3 on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
Big 12 football on Fox Sports Net has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By GTE, the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA. And by Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. Colorado 35-6 over the Kansas Jayhawks, and the Jayhawks backed up at their own 4-yard line. Fullback Justin Curry for 2, and that's about all. Ty Gregorak made the tackle.
That's what you want to do here. You don't want to drop back and pass because you don't want to give Colorado a chance to come blitz.
Let's go to Hollywood. Dr. Pepper game break. Here's Kevin Frazier. Kevin.
Drew, let's give you a taste of the Pac-10. UCLA and Oregon State. Cade McNown moving around. He finds Jim McElroy 31 yards away for the touchdown. UCLA all over Oregon State 33-4.
On the roll, gets it to Curry, and he lowers his shoulder to the 13-yard line, about a yard short of the first down. Clifton Peters made the stop, number 44 in black. Interesting story, Clifton Peters. He's from Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. He had 3 uncles playing Norman for the Oklahoma Sooners. He said, nope, I'm going to go to Boulder. He was a high school All-American as well.
Came here at 205. He's added about 40 pounds of muscle, and he's going to be a fine player in the future for this team. Now, he's got 2 years left. He's got a redshirt year plus his senior year, so we'll see what he does.
Curry, I don't think he got there.
It's real close, Drew.
He needed a yard. Aaron Marshall was in there defensively for Colorado. He really needed less than a yard. They talk about playing the trenches tonight. Colorado on both sides of the ball have won the battle, and he lost, in fact, probably a foot. So Kansas will have to punt it.
You have to punt here, obviously. There'll be some people say, well, you're behind this much. It's late in the game, go for it. But you got to punt the football here. Or at least try to draw Colorado off sides. But otherwise, you have to punt it.
Marcus Stiggers back at his own 40. Dean Royal to punt it. Guy who has a mini grand piano in his apartment off campus. He plays classical piano, plays about an hour a day. There's room for Stiggers. Actually, it's Damon Wheeler. Damon Wheeler on the return. Now, here's something I know you hate, Coach. There's an offensive number 2, and that's Marcus Stiggers, and there's a guy who plays defense and wears number 2, Damon Wheeler. And it was Wheeler, not Stiggers, and they're about the same size.
They're about the same size, and they're both fast. And you got to love Wheeler here because he gets knocked out of bounds, but he didn't want to go out of bounds. He fought like heck to stay in bounds, and that's what I love about him. And he's 5'10", 165, but he's the fastest defensive back they have on this football team. And I think it's a great idea to get him returning punts now because Troutman, who's their normal punt returner, will be gone next year, and you need somebody to step up next year, and that's him.
Slot to the top, Jeremy Weisinger back at quarterback. From the Kansas 44, Marlon Barnes. To the 14-yard line. Jamie Harris saved the score. Marlon Barnes stating his case to perhaps become the starter.
And, you know, coming into the game, Kansas had been giving up yards on the ground, but they are really, really starting to buckle tonight. And that's really, really a nice job by Barnes of skipping to the side and then going up inside there. Okay, you're going to see the hole open right up in here, and he goes. This is a nice job by the offensive line of reaching, but it's also a good job of him of picking the hole on the backside, coming, and then turning it up the field. That is called option running and excellent vision by the tailback.
With Barnes over 100 yards rushing tonight, Sherrington taking his turn. He gets 7 to the 7-yard line. Well, a reminder tomorrow, it's another great week of Fox NFL Sunday. Starting with America's most watched pregame show. Then don't miss the New York Giants clash with the Detroit Lions or other regional action. Turn to your local Fox station for all of the action at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check local listings. The word on Darius Lomax, he has a sprained left knee for Kansas, will not return. Barnes back in there, and somehow he gets to the 4-yard line. A tackle made by Michael Allen. He runs hard.
Well, if you're Terry Allen, the offensive line coach, and Carl Durrell, the offensive coordinator, you got to be fired up tonight about this running attack of the University of Colorado. And Kennedy Pola, the running back coach, who's standing right there next to Rick Neuheisel, has also done a great job with these backs of teaching them to run violently. And I'll tell you, it's hard to really redirect your ship in the middle of the season, because at the beginning of the year, they weren't doing a very good job of running the ball. These coaches at Colorado have hung together and kept with the plan, and I think you're seeing a result of that tonight a little bit.
Well, Rick Neuheisel said this week, he said, we have 2 goals. We want to go to a bowl game so we can have our seniors go out in style and get our young players an opportunity to practice for a few weeks in December. Great preparation for next year. And he says, we want to stay relentlessly positive.
And he's smart, but you also want to go to a bowl game because it helps your recruiting.
Sherrington. He got to the 2-yard line. Tony Blevins, the busy free safety, made the tackle. And we pay a visit to Greg Bell. Greg.
Hey, guys, you're talking about the bowl games. One of the things that's got to be noted with the lucrative business of college football, a bowl game also helps the Colorado Buffaloes because they have a great incentive package with Nike.
Yeah, they can make a few extra bucks.
Everybody makes money when you go to a bowl game, but there's a lot of positives. But I think the 2 biggest is, one, you get great exposure nationally when you're playing in a bowl game, but also it gives your young players another 15 or 20 days in which to practice.
That may be most important to a young team. Barnes to the corner. Marlon Barnes, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. He's up to 129 yards rushing unofficially.
Watch the bounce here. He starts up into the line of scrimmage and then bounces around. But his big old fullback, Darren Fisk, gives him a nice block, which enables him to get into the end zone. He starts up inside, and then he bounces the ball to the outside. When you start up inside, though, what happens is the defenders come up to take that away, and then you get outside, and they get trapped inside.
And unfortunately, little fella got trapped on the sideline. This is a stadium that's 73 years old, and the walls are very, very close to the sidelines here. It's very dangerous, not only for the players, but spectators and official people right on the sideline. And it looks like he's going to be okay. Colorado 42, Kansas 6.
Why does she play field hockey? She knows there will be no shoe commercials, no trading cards, no limos. So why? Because she is an athlete. Just like a football player, just like a basketball player, just like a baseball player. GTE is proud to be the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big 12 because of her and the pure spirit of college athletics.
He's worked almost 40 years. She's worked almost 40 years. And during that time, they've gone on walks together instead of cruises, and shared secrets together instead of champagne. just so that someday they could retire and be together all the time. At Cigna, we care about the retirement dreams of over 5 million people. After all, there are dreams too. Cigna, a business of caring.
They give us heroes, they give us hope, they let us laugh and cry, and fall in love. Movies touch us as few things can. Any technology that heightens the experience of watching movies at home makes life even more enjoyable.
DVD video from Philips Magnavox. Technology for the heart, the spirit, and the imagination.
Kansas led 3-0 at the end of one. Since that time, it's been all Golden Buffaloes. 42-6 they lead. They just went 44 yards. Marlon Barnes took it into the end zone from 2 yards away. Back deep, number 20 is Mitch Bowles, the sophomore from Las Vegas.
Well, if you're Colorado, you got to feel very good about yourself tonight in all phases of the game, because as we talked about, they've come in, they've played good defense, they've played good with special teams. They've also done a wonderful job of running the football tonight. And John Hessler, he's done an outstanding job of answering some of his critics, Drew.
No question, Artie, his best performance of the year. 2:50 to play in the fourth. A reminder, Fox Sports News Primetime takes you one step beyond with in-depth interviews and analysis from around the nation. We are live on site covering your home teams with up-to-the-minute scores and highlights. That's why at Fox Sports News Primetime, only we can say we are there tonight after the game in most areas of the country. Check local listings. Drew Goodman, Artie Gigantino, Greg Bell. Big night for John Hessler, and he's had an opportunity to watch the two young quarterbacks play, Jeremy Weisinger and Adam Bledsoe. And in limited time, they've done okay as well. Short gain on the play. Paul Davis running the football for Kansas. Ty Gregorak made the initial contact.
You know, we were talking about Gregorak before, and like I said, he's as big a freshman linebacker as I've ever seen. I've coached a lot of really good guys and recruited a lot of really big, good players at USC, but this guy is as good a looking an athlete as any of them, believe me.
Davis again. And Rashidi Barnes made the tackle along with Ryan Sutter. Pretty good pickup there. About 8 yards. He should be a yard shy. Well, Gregorak, he kind of grinned at us when we talked to him a week ago. And he said, I was closer to 265 pounds. So when I reported for camp, he said, I trimmed down a little bit.
Yeah, he trimmed down a little bit, but, you know, he's still got some mass in there, as they say.
You bet. Third down and a yard. Davis probably got enough, but then he really paid for it from Wes Pratt. Colorado on the ground. They came in, Artie, 101st in the nation rushing the football. And tonight, 227 yards. Not bad for a team that averaged just 92.
But the big stat goes to their defense, holding Kansas under 100 yards rushing, because when they do that at the University of Colorado, they win.
Knocking him down in the backfield, that's Brady McDonald. And the new quarterback in the game, number 17's Hamilton Hill, getting an opportunity. Paul Davis was the one who got dragged down. Kansas, it looks like, Artie, for the third consecutive time on the road, will not get in the end zone, and that has to frustrate a guy that coached so many great offensive teams at the Division I AA level, and Terry Allen at Northern Iowa.
Yeah, but it's got something to do with the people they're playing, too. They played some pretty good football teams on the road, and tonight, Colorado was a good football team. Cincinnati is a good football team.
You know, the three teams Colorado has lost to this year. Coming into this weekend, they were 16-0.
Right, Texas A&M, Michigan, and Oklahoma State. So this guy had nothing to be ashamed of in terms of the record. He could have been 4-1. He also could have been 1-4 coming into tonight's game. But he played a great schedule, and that's something you got to look at the University of Colorado and take your hat off to, because they like to go out and play a tough non-conference schedule each year.
This will be the last snap of the game. Kansas just wants to get back to came off the bench to yell at a Colorado player, but that is that. Colorado, their most impressive win of the year, 42-6 over Kansas. The Jayhawks now 4-3. Colorado back to 500. They head to Austin next week.
Yeah, you can take that black cloud that we talked about that was hanging over the University of Colorado and dissolve it right now. It's gone. This team is fighting its way back.
Kansas has Nebraska next week. That won't be a lot of fun. Well, for Artie Gigantino and Greg Bell, I'm Drew Goodman. Hope you enjoyed it. Six, the final. Colorado over Kansas. Out west we go to Kevin Frazier at the Fox Television Center.
Thanks a lot, Drew. Buffaloes look good. Next week they head to Austin. They take on Texas once again. 42-6 is the final. Solomon Wilcots will join me in just a moment. We'll break down the top 10 from a very busy Saturday on the gridiron. So stay right here. You're watching College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net.
These days, it seems like everything is the official something of somebody. What's next? The official soft drink? The team mascot? Look at this guy right here. And this one here. And this girlfriend and this kid. See? They're drinking Dr. Pepper just because it tastes great. It's kind of the official soft drink of everyone else. Like this guy with the butler. He executes a one-handed switch. You can't coach this stuff. It's a thing of beauty. Hey, who's doing that? I do that. What's going on? Hey.
Baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 till 5, and then he takes another home again to find me waiting for him. Now baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 till 5, and then he takes another home again to find me waiting.
There are people who think water polo is not a game for a man. They're right. This is no game, and he is not just a man. It is a sport, and he is an athlete, just like a football player, just like a basketball player, just like a baseball player. GTE is proud to be the official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big 12 because of him and the pure spirit of college athletics.
When I was growing up in Pittsburgh, my father always told me to do business with people who are reliable and stand behind their product.
Some things never change.
That's right, Dad. That's why I work with First Plus. They're experienced, dependable, and dedicated. They'll get you the best loan to meet your needs. If you're a homeowner looking to consolidate bills or make home improvements, call First Plus. You can count on them to make the loan that's just right for you.
And I thought you only listened to your mother.
Call First Plus at 1-800-510-PLUS.
Welcome back to the studio. Kevin Frazier, Solomon Wilcots along with you. 42-6, Colorado knocks off Kansas. But let's talk about what else went on today. Big story, number 4, Auburn falls to number 5, Florida.
Yeah, Florida goes on the road with a freshman quarterback, Jesse Palmer, and wins on the road to beat Auburn, who was undefeated. I think it was a big win. LSU, big letdown after the win over Florida last week. They fall to Ole Miss, a shocker, but they came out flat.
Sure, they will not be number 9 next week. Hey, next Saturday, we will begin our doubleheader in the Big 12 at 3 o'clock Eastern. That game's still to be determined. And then at 6:30 Eastern, we head to the Pac-10 for USC and Oregon. Solomon and I, of course, will see you right back here next week on College Football Saturday. Up next, Fox Sports News. See you later.
about to change the way you feel about driving on ice. We're at an ice rink to show you a breakthrough in tire technology, the Blizzak Ice Tire. The first winter tire with Bridgestone's patented multi-salt compound designed to fight through snow and stick to ice. In fact, at only 30 miles per hour, a set of Blizzak stop 35 feet shorter than a set of popular all-season radials. Blizzak from Bridgestone. If you're not using them, what's stopping you?
Available at these fine Bridgestone retailers.
Improving the popular Accord V6 was quite a challenge. We gave it a more powerful 200 horsepower VTEC engine, a longer aerodynamic shape, a roomier, more luxurious interior, even increased the size of the trunk. Still, the improvement we're proudest of is the price. It's lower, $950 lower. This is an Accord like no other from Honda.
This is my son Milo's bird, Squeaky. Squeaky was easy to get, but he's not so easy to maintain. I like entertainment with zero maintenance, which is why Squeaky's not getting a girlfriend. We got Primestar satellite TV instead. One call and Primestar installed it for us, and it'll give us free in-home service if we ever need it. Plus, it's a heck of a lot more fun to watch than Squeaky.
Don't listen to him, Squeaky.
Get Primestar installed for just $99. It's as easy as 1-800-PRIMESTAR.
What can you get when you get into Conoco? Something special at every one.
Hi, I'm Marlo. My customers like to get up early, so I get them going with a great cup of coffee and a fresh pastry to go.
Get into Conoco for good gas and a whole lot more. What can you get when you get into Conoco? Something special at every one.
Hi, I'm Bruce. And when you come to my Conoco, you'll find national name brands, quality gasoline, and a whole lot of pride.
Get into Conoco for good gas and a whole lot more.
Bodies at rest tend to stay at rest. Bodies at motion tend to get thirsty. Now pay attention. Get thirsty, get Gatorade. Get Gatorade, get Gator Points. Get Gator Points, get Big 12 gear. When you get Big 12 gear, you tend to get noticed by members of the opposite sex. The kind that would otherwise spit in your direction. I've seen it, it happens. So, get Gatorade, get Gator Points, get Big 12 gear.
You're watching the all-new Big 12 Conference on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain.
This week on Transworld Sport.
We meet the hustler with her eyes on the prize, and that adds up to more than pocket money.
We journey inside the glass menagerie to deliver our verdict on the people behind the camera.
What a way to go for the Red Wings. As for Gretzky, he's the real star of Slapshot.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid? More like Fat Man and Little Boy. Oh yes, and the outrage as well.
The Sting and the Pardubichka's tale are the fences which bear anything but an absence of malice.
Is this the drowning pool? Thankfully not, but it will need the Macintosh Man to avoid a soaking. First, though, we catch up with Cool Hand Ernie somewhere even wetter.
For the past 3 years, Ernie Els has steamrolled the opposition at golf's Toyota World Match Play Championship. This year it went with the South African keeps alive his hopes of a record 4th successive title with victory over Zimbabwe's Nick Price on the first extra hole of their semi-final. In the 36-hole final, he meets Vijay Singh, who disposed of American Brad Faxon 4.